That's all.
Welcome to today's stream. Today we have Damien. Is that what you were gonna go with? What is it?
Whatever. Go for it. Everyone's gonna abuse it.
Okay.
Damon, whatever. Yeah.
Damon. Are you gonna introduce yourselves, or you're just gonna be like, I'm just some mystery person?
No, you're the host. You started the introductions. Might as well continue. Go ahead.
Okay. Go first. Tell us about yourself.
I mean, I fell down into this rabbit hole streaming with these with one group of guys that didn't quite work out, and then made contacts with Jake on VOPod, and yeah, it's not a great origin story, but it works.
Okay. All right. And then we already know Teriak from other streams. So, like Casper, the friendly ghost from Ireland. That's all we need to know. And Memer and our lawyer friend here. You want to introduce yourself?
Alex, stop drinking wine in the corner. Drink it front and center. Be proud of your wine, okay?
No, come on, man. You guys are like, you want the aesthetics, right? You want the optics. So I'll just, whenever I shift out of screen, it's not because I'm doing anything under the table, right? It's just because I'm drinking wine. Just wanted to clear that up. Yeah. Hi, we're all from VOPod. So, yeah. Looking forward to a good stream.
Okay. All right. So today we're going to be talking about if women can be friends with each other. And then we'll try to tackle the with men thing if we have time at the end. But everybody's been doing the can they be friends with men? And I still haven't figured out if they can, because like there's too many conflicting factors and variables there. So like let's try to see if we can figure out if they can be friends with other women. Yes. Okay. So
we're the authority on that. Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay. So the first thing is we have to factor in when women deal with other women, there is jealousy over their looks, over money, over their family, over their status, over boyfriends, husbands, all of the above, sometimes at the same time. So when it comes to jealous female friends of let's say you're all married. This is the scenario we have to go with from this lens. You're all married to a woman, and she has a friend who is jealous of her for one of these things or something else. Can your wife be able to be friends with them without them interfering? Who wants to go first?
I think this is a rewrap from your story from yesterday's stream, Cap. But if do you want to retell that story? What like that bitch did?
Which one?
The one with the hand, and then do you want to go to the bathroom?
Yeah. We'll do examples.
Ironically, it was
later. We'll do examples later. We're just talking theories now.
Yeah. Okay. So like in terms of like the general, for me at least, what I've noticed is that like. Women obviously like to do the compliment thing, but they don't actually mean it. But when women do fight, it is like it goes on and on and on and on. So it's like that dynamic is obviously like not healthy, whereas like guys can have a disagreement and just kind of like move on from it. I think a lot easier. But I think a lot of it's got to do with like women don't necessarily need to have friends, whereas like guys need to be able to work together and be able to trust each other and all that kind of stuff, especially with business, that kind of thing. But like I said, on the flip side to it as well, like there's a reason why men insult each other but don't mean it, but women compliment each other and don't mean it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so you said women don't need friends. Women talk like 100 times more than men. So who are they going to talk to if they don't have friends?
Yeah, women are more emotional than men. I think that. Sorry, Tarek. Who do you think is more capable of being happy and stable whilst being a loner, a man or a woman?
Man.
Yeah, I agree. So I think that women need to have a social circle more than what men do.
Yeah, but I mean, like, again, like this is kind of like syntax thing, but like in terms of like friends, I'm saying like I'm comfortable enough for her to be around the house, like just like not even let me know when she's popping in, like that kind of level of friend is what I say in terms of like friends. Whereas like I think like it's more so it's like acquaintance per se, or it's like, oh, I know that bitch, but like she ain't my friend, or like she has funny stories, but we're not friends, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm kind of thinking. Like a
Yeah.
lot of girls kind of like it, because it has the, oh my god, she's like my best though, but like she's fucking her hose, like something like that, or like the boyfriend or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So there's
Bro,
Okay,
bro,
okay.
a whole
Let's
dynamic.
let's define it before we go on. We're talking about friends, not acquaintances. We're talking about someone that they would go to for advice, to work out a problem in their life, for counsel, like an actual friend. They hang out with, they go, places with without you, like who are
I
you
think in
feel comfortable?
Are
I
you,
think
are
in
you
that
really
respect,
friends with someone if you're only friends with them because the people who you really want to be friends with don't want to be friends with you?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if you watch FNF or you watch any of the whatever dating shows, right? And you see the girls get asked by Myron or whoever's on there, like, who would you rather be friends with, a man or woman? At least from what I've seen, about 80% of the time they say men. So if that seems to entail that they're settling for female friends, does
we're
that?
talking about a very specific subset. We're talking about a very specific group or type of women. If we're going to be looking at that as an example,
See, I don't
like
believe it's specific. I think that's generally how
no,
women work.
no. Not only do I think that they're a very specific type of woman to go on a show like that, but also like, okay, Kat, let me ask you, since you're better equipped to answer this. Do you think that the women, even those who appear on stuff like the Whatever podcast, when they go on that podcast, are they being their true selves?
Some of them yes, some of them no, but I think the fact that they have the time to go on this type of podcast speaks to them, like they're probably like online or on OnlyFans or trying to market something that they think this particular audience wants,
Yeah, exactly.
or
So they're
or
playing to the audience.
trolling or something like that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if you actually met some of those girls offline in real life, they probably wouldn't be like that, and they probably wouldn't agree with most of the stuff that they're saying. They're very obviously playing to an audience, these people, right?
Some
And
of
I'm not
them, yes.
necessarily saying that they're good people. I'm not defending them. I'm not saying these are good, actually good people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they're not being their honest selves. Like even when you go on a date with a girl, she's not honestly representing herself there. She's
Yeah, but
going to
bro,
present an idealized version of herself.
even if I agree with
So
you that she's not being her honest self, it doesn't mean that because she's lying about certain aspects of her life means she's lying about everything that she says, right?
oh no, probably not. But what I'm saying is that you can't judge when you look at them behaving in this way that's not really an honest way, that doesn't represent themselves. See,
But
my,
the
my
burden of
point is
proof
that
is on you.
if you look at men and if you look at women and you look at groups of women that might be friends and groups of men that might be friends, I think that the differences that you'll find is that as Kat was saying, women will talk more. They'll want to share their experiences a lot more than what guys do. You know, when a bunch of guys go to the pub and they start talking, or they're at a game and they start talking, like they're gonna probably say 1/100th of the stuff that women will be saying. You know, women are much bigger communicators than what men are. And that's why I even think that like when you see something like jealousy, if there's an issue of jealousy among a group of friends that happen to be female and an issue of jealousy among a group of friends that happen to be male, I think that you're going to see it presented in different ways. And what I often see is that if there's a jealous girl in a group of friends, they'll usually open up and admit to being jealous. Like if there's one girl who's jealous of another girl's looks, she'll be like, "Oh my God, like you look so beautiful, you bitch. I'm so jealous." You'll never see a guy admitting that he's jealous to another guy. We don't do that. And if ever somebody does, we view it as a sign of weakness.
Okay, hang on. I think when you say that women are better communicate, I think that's a bit of a misnomer. Women crave communication more, but they are shit at it compared to men. Men don't care as much about communication, but they are much better at it when they need to be. So
I
I
get
don't.
what you're saying there. I get what you're saying there, but what I'm saying is that the need is still the same. The need calls for the actual rise of friendship.
Okay, we're getting kind of like in the weeds. Let's take it back to the jealousy. So let's do some background on like hierarchies in female friend groups, right? There's always a hierarchy in every group. Men are more hierarchical. So like there's usually like in a group of males, there's one that everybody kind of like goes to, and this is the leader, whatever he wants to do, or if he says we're not doing this, if he's a degenerate, the rest of the group will follow. If he's not a degenerate, the rest of the group will not be proud of their degeneracy and keep that under wraps. It's like we always go to the leader. So in female groups, we have this as well. But in female groups, the competition to have that spot is much more fierce than I see when in male social groups, right? Males are kind of like, they just concede. They're just like, this is fine. Like, I have my spot. They got their spot, whatever. But when it comes to females, there's constantly like the higher status females will constantly compete for the even highest spot. And that's when you have a lot of bickering, a lot of splitting up the group to attack a single female. And if anybody's jealous, they will align themselves up in the group to attack the female they feel is getting too high up. So let's say the group they're all single. One of them is engaged to be married. And engaged to be married to somebody that the other people deem as high value. The jealousy will kick in, and then they will try to dismantle the relationship with the other girl, encouraging them to do things to make them look less attractive, to make bad financial decisions, to maybe not marry that guy, to marry this loser, that's your dream guy. That's the one you've always liked. Remember him, remember that. Or like to do other degenerate type of things to break the relationship. I mean, have you guys seen that happen?
Among women or among men?
We're women.
Yeah, we've seen it among women.
It's a commonplace occurrence.
Like all we need to do is look at Helen of Troy to kind of see the lengths that women will go to cause the downfall. Like they're perfectly willing to literally throw the whole civilization away just to get her man, kind of thing. And again, obviously that's an extreme case. That's not every bitch. Don't at me. But like I said, it's like a general principle that like at least me as a man like have about women in general, that it's like these bitches are terrorists. You know what I mean? They're the worst terrorists known to man because they act like they love you. You know what I mean? Like at least with like in the Middle East, they're shouting death to America, death to the West, and all that shit. At least it's honest. But like with women,
you
it's
pointed out something
deceitful,
interesting there. You pointed out something interesting there, that it's cultural, right? So if you look at cultures that are more civil, women don't behave as aggressively as in other cultures, right? So if you look at Western women, most Western women don't behave as aggressively as you'll see if you look at Middle Eastern women. And this is well, no, okay. There's Italian women. I'm sorry. No, I mean in general. No, it is a cultural thing. But this is usually because if you look at it in more civil societies, right, it's still acceptable for men to be aggressive, right? So if there's an issue like that that occurs among men will usually fight to settle it, but women won't fight to settle it. Not always. I mean, times have changed over the past 15, 20 years, but this is why women usually resort to those non-physical ways, which seem more devious, right? Like reputation destruction, behind like backbiting and that kind of stuff. So they'll do that kind of sneaky stuff to take down their enemies rather than sort it out in the open like men do.
Yeah. One thing I know, it doesn't matter what culture you are. I know Middle Eastern women, very traditional women. There's a hidden world of female competition that you'll never see unless you're in it. And the men have no idea what's going on. They're very clueless to this type of stuff. Like some of the things that they do is when they have jealousy towards a female is they will encourage them to do anything that will make them less attractive, lower their status, ruin their family, ruin their relationship,
Right.
their kids,
But
everything.
as I was saying though,
Yeah.
that's not a physical way of doing it. That's going to be more aligned with like reputation destruction. That's going to
Yes,
be
they
more
do not physically
manipulative and
attack.
devious. Exactly, right. See, so if there was men fighting over a woman or jealous over a woman, it would usually manifest as a fight, as a physical
Mhm.
fight, rather than somebody. If any guy was to do that kind of trying to do reputation destruction, like this happened to me once. I was with a girl, and there was another guy who I thought was my friend, and he got his sister to speak to my then girlfriend's mother to try and say that I was the kind of guy that goes stepping out on girls, which I've never done in my life. And one of my other friends, who was a mutual friend, kind of brought this to light. Everybody cut this guy out because what he did was deemed to be just not masculine. Like everybody recognized that that was just like very weak behavior. So you don't usually see that kind of behavior among men. You usually see it, as you pointed out, among women.
I can tell you examples of both. We'll get into that when I do examples.
Yeah.
But like one of the ways that women lower other women's status is by encouraging to do things like OnlyFans, dress, act trashy, be promiscuous, talk aggressively. You've seen that, like aggressive, entitled talk. Other women will encourage women to do that because the smart women know the more aggressive and whatever they talk, even if it's a beautiful woman, it'll lower their value. So like some of them are in the background going, oh yeah, you deserve this, girl, yell at him, fight with him, whatever. They encourage fights in relationships. Oh, I saw him looking at this girl. Did you see that? Oh my, he doesn't respect you. He said this under his breath. He looked at this. He was checking out this one. Anything to stir up drama. Dress slutty. Oh, he's trying to control you. Don't let him control you. Wear that dress. Let's go out tonight and party.
You're your own single independent woman. You don't need no man. A woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle, kind of thing. That whole mentality, like I said, where it doesn't even make logical sense. But again,
it's empowering. It's empowering, Teriak. It's so empowering.
This is the thing. It's like Beyonce. Like she had all these bitches singing, all the single ladies, but then when the concert ended, she went home with Jay-Z with her man. She has her ring. None of these bitches have
Bro,
theirs.
you realize it's not just that, right? You know that Jay-Z cheated on her and she went back to him, right? And half of her songs, bro, and half of her songs are about like, oh, you gotta leave the guy if he cheats, blah blah blah. I think just the fact that so many women fall for it is evidence in itself of the herd mentality of the archetype of women in general, you know.
Well, like yesterday we did the one on like the demon possessions. Like these characteristics of all of these things come from that. Envy, being promiscuous, hating children, hating family, hating marriages. All of these traits that a lot of the women now are possessing come from that. In my opinion, and again, we didn't do a disclaimer. This is just us talking out of our ass. Feelings, not facts. Just an open discussion. But yeah, I believe like all of these things come from women who have this problem. And then when they get into a group of good girls, decent girls, they try to chip away at that and turn them to the other side.
But it's that kind of like innate kind of like competition, just like eliminate competition. Whereas a man will try to look within, try to basically enhance his own kind of like properties and to dominate the other men. It's more so with the women. It's like, right, if I can just like drag everyone down below me, but it's like thinking with the bear. Like the man will think, oh, I like, how do I kill the bear? The woman's thinking, okay, how do I, injure the person beside me so the bear goes for the person rather than me? You know what I mean? But it's not just a female thing. It's like you can see this behavior even in dogs. Like if you notice, like anytime like there's a little dog and like he wants to stir the shit, what he'll do is he'll aggravate the big dog so that the owner will discipline the big dog. So basically the little dog's trying to use the owner to discipline the big dog kind of thing. So it's that like that kind of behavior is what you need to be able to recognize, because sometimes it's not always as it seems, especially with nowadays because of the internet and all that shit, you know?
Yeah. And here's some more examples that things that I have heard, people that I think are like totally gone. They'll be like, he's controlling you. As we mentioned that he's controlling. Do whatever you want, girl. You have to ask him if you can buy this. Oh, wow. So he's controlling your finances. So you're like being financially dominated or whatever. All this. I remember one time I was walking in the mall and there was this Israeli girl that came up to me to try to get me to buy some skincare thing. And I was trying to get away gracefully. So I'm like, oh, let me ask my husband or whatever to walk away. And she's like, looked me dead in the eyes, and I was like a little demon in her. And she goes, oh, so you have to ask your husband to use your money. Wow. So he has that kind of control over you. How did he let you leave the house today? And like, she kept going on and on, trying to like crush, like, you know, my thing.
Where
and then
do
make
you
me,
think she was from? Where
she
do you
was
say
Israeli because we were talking about it. What?
I want to make a joke now, but TOS, it's fine.
No. But I'm just saying, like, because like she had the accent, and my husband used to live there, so I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Anyways, but the thing was, like, she was saying that she's trying to like basically make me get mad and then go home and start a fight. But I knew exactly what she was doing, and I wanted to punch her, but like I had to control myself because I'm a lady. But it's just like, imagine if like I didn't know what she was doing, and then I would have felt bad and be like, why do I have to ask? Like, if it was true, first of all, if it was true that I needed to ask him to use the money, whatever, which it wasn't. But I'm just saying, like, if it was and we had like limited finances and we had to go over things before we bought stuff, which a lot of people are in that situation, which is perfectly normal and fine, it would have made me feel a certain way and then go home and fight and start like some drama.
But can I ask, in that example, did she know your husband?
No, not at all.
So do you think that the reason why she was doing that was just because she wanted to kind of take a shit on your life and start conflict in the home?
Yes.
Or that she was just using it to try and get you to buy the product that she was selling?
I mean, two things can be true. I definitely think she got very sinister at the end, like her tone changed and she was like trying to get a rise out of me.
Right. Okay.
Want to take bets on her being single?
Yes, definitely she was. And probably
I'm
jaded.
just out of curiosity, how old was she?
Late
Would you
30s,
say?
mid 30s, late 30s.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, she do like it's because she knows she's at the age whereby she's post war. You know, she's probably tried. She's probably, and I'm talking out my ass here, okay, but just
We all are.
in my experience, she probably has like a 60+ body count. She's going around wondering, oh, why can't I find a good guy? And then you come along, and then it's like,
Come around.
Triggered.
sorry, it's the wine. The accent comes off.
That's
I'm wrong.
amazing. That's amazing.
It's the wine, bro. It's the wine. Yeah, so I
This
mean,
bitch
like,
come along. She tell me.
I can do the accent for like 5 minutes. It's fine. I'll do it 5 minutes.
Sorry.
No.
Alex.
I'm just saying it's funny how it's always these post-war women who exhibit such disgustingly narcissistic and
Misery loves company, though.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
just an observation, man. Just an observation.
It's like I said, like Kat has like more examples that we'll get into, like that are literally batshit crazy. Like I literally don't know how Kat didn't stab a bitch, but it is what it is. But like I said, it's that's why it's like I always give the advice as a man, and it sounds brutal and misogyny and all that kind of shit. But you can never drop your game as a woman. You're always going to get those shit tests and all that kind of stuff, and then you have to like be able to like dissect this like logically and not get emotional and not just like react, if you get me. And yeah, like I said, it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's this kind of like passive aggressive kind of nature that will kind of it's always kind of like a like I said, like I think I pointed out earlier, like with you, Alex and Damon, where I was saying like for example with Grace, if you notice, like she tried basically one of the first things she tried to do was try to get me against Glenn, but she was doing it in a way where she was like, oh, she's trying to defend me to come at Glenn, so then that would make an emotional reaction. Then it'd be two. Then she sits back and she started drinking her thing because she had all the drama, you know.
Shit starting.
True.
Shit starting 101.
Yeah, so here's another example I have. There's some famous influencers online, right? So it's a big group of them. They're very, very famous, millions plus followers. And they're different couples, right? Been married, they put their whole relationships and such out there. And one of them ended up getting a divorce. And then she would make the other girls go on girls' trips to like tropical places or like Instagramming it, partying, whatever. And then slowly but surely, the other girls who 15, 20-year relationships, they started all filing for divorce, like dropping like flies. It was like really like immediately I'm like, I knew what's going on. In fact, the second they started going on the girls' trips and posting about it, I knew it was going to happen. And then one of the girls that I follow for like decades filed for divorce. And I was talking to Teriak about that. Like I posted it in one of the girls, whatever. And it was just so insane because they would say, because trying to justify them splitting up this marriage with kids and everything, she would go on lives and be like, oh, you know, it's just like, I didn't know who I was without him, which is retarded. What do you mean you don't know? You shouldn't. You're supposed to be one. You're supposed to be one person. That doesn't make any sense. And then like basically the other girls would just insult her like, oh, but who are you without him? You're like this, you're like too enmeshed. You're too controlled by him. Like you didn't get a chance to date or be single. You don't like know what else is out there. Like this can't be it. Blah, blah, blah. And, you know, whatever. Like you're so much older and wiser now, so you can find something better. And this is what they tell other women to infiltrate any sort of like marriage and family.
Do you know what happened to these group of women? Where are they now?
Some of them are divorced, single women. And I don't see they're happy. Oh, and for the first time ever, like one of them was posting like those crying, you know, when the women post the crying videos on Instagram lives and stuff like that. I'm just like, you know, like I go to say, oh my gosh. And I made like the most passive aggressive comment when she announced her split, and it got like liked like a million times from people. I'm just like, I said something like, yeah, she was talking about how like, I forgot what she said, but basically I posted like, you know, there was a study that says if one woman gets divorced, like all her friend groups will have this percentage chance of getting divorced after that. And it got liked by tons of people. It was just like, we were being kind of mean, but at the same time, it's true. It's like, what are you doing? What is this finding yourself stuff? Like you're an old lady, like you have a kid. What about your kid, bro? Like go home with your kid. Why are you out partying in Ibiza with some single hoes?
I mean, like that's the thing as well, where it's like it's kind of similar, where it's like the communism argument, where it's like they'll say, oh, we can get all this for free, but the underlying thing is that it's like the price is the taxpayer is paying. You know what I mean? So and that's what they don't realize. It's the same thing in these situations where it's like you have basically a Jezebel that's going to come in. He's going to have all these trips to beat all these like, you know, like beach bod guys and all that kind of shit. That's going to try to say, oh, you can have paradise and all this shit, but what you don't realize is she needs that shit to even just survive, because her life is that sad that she needs those holidays away and sun and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's that whole thing of like misery loves company, where like it's always they'll play on the fear of missing out, the grass is always greener, all this kind of shit, just to play onto the emotions. There's no logic behind it, because like we're saying there, like the ultimate goal to life is having the family, the picket fence, all that kind of shit. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. And
great.
one thing I think about is like a lot of my friends that, maybe they're single or whatever, they're always traveling everywhere, posting all these beautiful photos, and it looks beautiful. It looks wonderful. But when you go on vacations, especially Americans, we get like a 1 week or something, a whole year or something. You're trying to like have a good time the entire time. Maybe you take some photos where it looks like you having a good time, but you're jet lagged. You're like running around. You're trying to see all the things because you only have so many days off in this stupid country. And that's not like this amazing experience that they portray it to be. And also, it's like when I'm home, I'm very happy and relaxed. So I don't have this need to like go out there and take pictures of me with like, I don't know, a margarita and like some taco in Mexico or wherever the hell they are.
Yeah, they say that when you go out of your way to post all these lifestyle travel videos, just think about it, right? If you're really enjoying yourself doing whatever experience you want to do you really have time to like go out of your way to take photos of what you're doing? Obviously not, right? So it's like all these people, all these groupies that go to concerts, and then like instead of like having a good time dancing, talking to their friends, they're just filming the entire thing, like look at me. It's like, bro, you're faking your happiness. No one believes you.
Well, the more important thing, or the easiest way to view it, is this way. Like, if you've done all of that for your girlfriend, right? If you've made the money, bought the tickets, flown there, would you how would you feel if instead of just having a nice time with her, she was actually just spending all the time filming stuff and taking pictures? And the same goes for the girl. If the girl's doing all of that, like, she will expect some attention back rather than you just being on the camera filming stuff, taking pictures. It goes both ways.
Do we want to get into that?
No.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah. Like, I remember when Instagram and all that stuff first came out, it was just like, look at my food, because that's what people, I don't know, that's kind of like what we initially posted. I think the first photographs were like of food, like the first drawings that we ever did in art class were of food. Like, that's just what people just instinctively do, like get some apples, put them on the table, and let's draw that stuff. I don't know, that's a human thing. So I get that. But when people started doing these hyper aesthetic things and they're constantly cranking out content and getting likes and getting the dopamine hits, I fell for it and I started doing it a couple times. And then after a while, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, the food is getting cold. I'm an idiot. And then I stopped. And it's just like, there's so many beautiful aesthetic meals that I've had since that I have never taken a photo of. And I'm fine. At least the food was not cold by the time I ate it.
Okay,
I mean,
okay, hang on. On the food thing, it's not necessarily you taking the photo because you enjoy the dopamine. I take photos of my food because I want to remember the restaurant so that I can come back there and eat more. It's got nothing to do with the dopamine.
Then take a picture of the empty plate, like, oh guys, you'll never
How
believe.
would I know whether I enjoyed it? I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I get that a lot. I'm weird. It's fine. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You just like showing off your food. It's okay.
No, but like there is kind of like I said, like some of the profiles, like I said in the stream with Jake, we're going through like the question I kind of asked, like, what's the product? What's in the photos is what the product is, like what they're selling. And if the like 90% of the photos is just them and there's not like, maybe like a banner image, or if they had a guest on or something like that, or like we're seeing like if they're kind of all about the design or art, like majority of the picture should be about like art and like you said, like pictures of apples and crazy shit like that, or goofy shit like that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So again, like it's like we can talk about like a lot of the kind of the red flags here, but there is kind of like exceptions to the rule per se. But yeah, like in terms of like getting back to the general question of like women being friends with other women, like I said, it could be like a social circle kind of situation where it's like, a book club kind of per se, where it's kind of like you're not particularly friends. There's some sort of like context there, like the story of the book or whatever, maybe a bit of drama or whatever the source is. But then, like I said, if we're to go on to the men and women question, which is a bit more spicier, that's where we start to see like, okay, now there's a whole kind of like vibe. Well, here's my kind of nuance to it, where technically men and women can be friends, but it's basically relatives. What I'm saying, because like
We're going to talk about men and women later. Hold
Okay.
your thought.
yeah, no worries. But like in terms of the like I said, from the kind of whole like family perspective, that's where I think like a lot of modern day problems are starting to be like show their head, because we have such like small families nowadays. Do you get me?
Mm-hmm. So,
But I think
like,
there's a sorry.
no, go on.
No, I was just going to say that the difference I think between friendship among women and friendship among men.
No.
is-
Don't go on then. No.
No, I'm not. I'm not
We're
comparing.
waiting. We'll do that
I'm not
next.
saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you look at women being friends with women or men being friends with men, I'm not saying about them being friends with each other. I'm just saying that like when you have a group of friends who are just women, like, as you were saying before, like if they get jealous because one of them's married, or if all of them are married and then one of them has a divorce, there's something that women don't do that men do, and oftentimes I think that works negatively with women, but men kind of almost do it instinctively. If men are friends with men and they start dating a woman and it starts getting serious, most of the time they'll start cutting some of their friends out. Not necessarily all of them, but the guys who see this happening, oh, he got a girlfriend, now he's never available to come out with us or do stuff with us, right? They start being like, oh, he's whipped. It's usually the weak men that say that, or the men who don't understand why they've been cut out. But I've got guy friends. I've got guy friends who I will be friends with when I'm in a relationship. But then I've got guy friends who are only my friends for when I'm single. They're the kind of guys that just want to do single stuff, that don't want to be tied down. If I'm in a relationship and I go out with them, they're going to be the guys that are going to drag me into bad places. So if I want to be in a happy relationship, I need to know that I need to limit my time with those people. They're the ones that are going to try and start getting me to do stupid stuff. They're the ones that are going to be kind of getting me to self-destruct. But women won't do that. Women will know this is the girl who gives me bad advice. This is the girl who kind of is jealous, and I know that she's jealous. But once she's got that guy, once she's got the ring on her finger, she'll still be friends with her because she thinks that she knows better. She thinks that she'll handle it and she can manage, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah. So, I have a story of like men who I think are in this female energy, this demonic female energy, because it's the same thing. It manifests the same way. They will be like the guys that will, like, if a girl in the group, male female group, if a girl gets a boyfriend or whatever, they'll kind of like team up and be like, okay, we have to get rid of this guy from the group, like he's taking one of our females, as if there was a chance. But they think that, and they will act very feminine like that and conniving, and just like the females do, like, oh, he's cheating on you, oh, I saw him with another girl, or whatever they can to break you up. And I remember when I had this big group, like maybe like 35 people, girls and boys. I was not in control of all of them, because it was like this person would bring these 3 people, and that person would bring those 4 people. So I'm not in control of them, but I just know these people are in the group. Some of them are closer to me, some of them are not. But we would hang out. When I started bringing my husband around, like, this is my boyfriend, the guys got together and like, oh, we have to get rid of him. So they would tell me things like, he sounds like a serial killer. I saw him at a club with some girl making out. He was looking at, our other female friend, like, in a certain way, and like just like trying to like, and I would just laugh because I knew exactly what they're doing. And I told him, oh, they're doing this because they're jealous because you're much better looking than them, and they're threatened, and this is just how life is. And he was like, oh, but why are they doing that? I'm like, this is how they act. They are very Jezebel-y type energy, and that's what they're going to do. And like, there was a few females in the group that were like that, but they were not attractive, so they did not do anything because they just really didn't have that status. But if they had been attractive, they would have been hitting on him and seeing what they could do.
Yeah, you find it. I just find it funny because men would never do that. Like
Yes, they would. I
don't-
just
I
said
don't-
men would do it.
no.
Can I just
I don't think
get
that.
Alex to answer a question?
Yeah.
Alex, question for you. Based on what you said, I kind of understand what you're getting at already just by saying that. But just a question to both you and Teriak. If you have guys in your friend group who are guys who do that kind of stuff, who try to pretend like they're giving you good advice, but they're setting you up for fail, right? They're trying to sabotage you. They're that kind of sneaky persona. What would you do if you've got guys like that who are your friends?
Burn the bridge.
Exactly. So, Kat, why is it that women remain friends with these women?
I think people, I think they feel like we have a history together. We've known each other for 10, 20, 30 years. I've known them since they were in middle school. Like we have a history. They knew me when I looked like this and when I was going through this, when my dad died, when my cousin got hit by a car, like all these things. And then you tie that, like, we know each other because we went through X amount of things in our life. So we have a harder time just getting rid of people. I don't, but they do. So some of the people that I consider very good people and close friends will keep these little gremlins around the group. I don't like it, but this,
So you just gotta
trauma
weed it.
bonding.
But so do
you
men,
need
and
to
I would
weed it.
argue that male friendships are much stronger than female friendships. So if anything, women should have even more reason to dump their friends, right? Or do
I
you
mean-
not think that males have better friendships?
Some males,
think-
yes.
I think men go into friendships a lot more kind of like cognizant of an opt-out clause. Like they're kind of going in kind of thinking, like no homo. There's that whole vibe where it's like with women, like they can be all like lovey-dovey, give each other hugs and all that kind of thing,
Okay, so what about this? Women don't have friends, they have frenemies, and men and women can only be friends if she finds him ugly. If they both find each other attractive, they can't be friends. I would like to say we're not at that part about the men and women thing, but even ugly girls are a threat because they can get the guy. And I'll tell the story later. So anyway,
Can we bring Glenn on if he wants to speak?
if he wants to be on, you can send
know
him the
if he-
link. Does anyone want to send him the link?
I don't have him on whatever on anything.
Glenn, I'll
Yeah.
send it to you on Twitter.
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 Yeah.
Twitter.
Bottle of water. Damon, can you say bottle of water, please?
Well,
I don't
Wait.
speak like that, though.
Can you say Tuesday? How do you say Tuesday?
You think I'm gonna say Tuesday, right?
It's Tuesday, isn't it?
oh my gosh.
You gotta have
Fancy
a
a bottle of water?
My gosh.
I do the
Sorry, I'm
back
sorry.
tea,
I'm
the
sorry.
tea from the
That
back
was,
tea.
that was really bad.
Okay. Moving on. This is one thing that I've seen a lot of evil type of female jealous friends do. They will say, oh, your husband doesn't help out with the kids, with whatever. But also one caveat is everybody's working. The men are working, the women are working in these relationships. So they're both working full time. They're both coming home tired after a full time thing. They both have kids at home. They'll say things like, hey, if you get a divorce, you can get like a nice apartment. He won't mess it up because he's a slob. You don't have to worry about that mess. And then you'll have like every other weekend off with no kids to go to clubs, to go on vacation, to do all this stuff. And it's kind of like a nice deal for these girls that are super stressed out and they swear that they have like all this extra value, which because the other girls will hype them up and tell them, oh, you can find super hot guys to marry you. Like it's so easy out there. Meanwhile, it's usually single girls who are telling them this. So it's like mind-boggling that women fall for this, but they do. Then they leave the guy, and now they have their weekends free to go with their skanky friends. And then they realize pretty quickly that, oh, these guys are the guys I never wanted, and that's all I'm attracting.
Yeah, you should probably ask those girls, where's your guy then? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but it's like something happens to the brain where like they don't even see like reality. Like if it's so great out there, why is a girl telling you that it's so great always single?
Mm.
No, because then usually what the girls say is that, oh no, I still have time. I just haven't found the right guy yet. You know.
No, in my experience though, it is very easy to get a girl to either be happy or unhappy. Like to make a girl who's happy become very disillusioned and unhappy is incredibly easy. And it's the same to do it the other way. It's not that hard to cheer up a girl. And it's also not that hard to entirely fuck up her worldview. It's much harder to do that to a guy. Guys are usually kind of standing on more solid ground when it comes to their emotional state. So yeah, these girls who are putting those ideas in a woman's head, it's no wonder why they're so effective.
But like I said, it keeps going back to misery loves company. Like if you are miserable by natural instinct, you will try to spread that darkness to whoever you meet. Everything you touch, you will try to do it like just instinctively. Because, like I said, it's like a loneliness thing. Like I don't
No,
want to
but
be the only one who's miserable.
I just mean
Not
that the
among your
emotional
friends,
state, the emotional state of women, and this isn't a criticism of women, it's just an observation of differences. Because it can be just as negative for a guy, the fact that men are different. A woman's emotional state is like a flywheel. If you just trickle a couple of drops of negative energy onto it, it's going to start spinning faster and faster into that negative place. Whereas with a guy, like if you look at depressed guys, it's you see this in studies with women coming out of depression and men coming out of depression. Women can be lifted out of depression a lot easier than what men can. And to get a guy who's successful and in a good mental state, to get him to become depressed is much harder than for a woman who's in a good successful place to become depressed. So those kind of swings occur in a woman's mind a lot easier than it does in a man's mind.
Yeah, but bro, you have to understand that the shit that has to be done to guys to usually get them in that state is usually like, I understand what you're saying. It takes a lot more in terms of what you say, but it also takes a lot more in terms of what the actual thing that makes them depressed is. Do you understand?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm saying. But imagine if you're in a happy, secure relationship and everything's going good for you in your life, right? If you go out with your friends one night and those guys are jealous of you and they think, let's employ the female tactics of kind of getting you to be depressed. Like, oh, so your wife needs you to come home now? Oh, has she got food waiting for you? What, she doesn't have food waiting for you? Why doesn't she like you hanging out with your friends? If they start putting that negative shit on you, what are you going to do as a man? You're going to be like, guys, shut the fuck up. I had to go home. Like, I've spent time with you. What the fuck do you want? And you're going to leave. You're not going to let them bring you down. You're not going to make them think that your woman's a bad pick or something. But with women, that's more effective. That's going to work very effectively to try and bring down a woman and make her feel negative about her relationship.
Well, that's because
Usually.
women have hive mind.
The
Yeah.
sisterhood.
Yeah, the sisterhood of Vagina Alice.
Well, they're hormone bombs, and when one bomb goes off, it's going to trigger other bombs.
Well, I mean, they are hive mind, and they base their decisions on the collective. Very rarely do you find a woman that's independently thinking for herself.
And I would argue if that's the kind of woman that presents herself, you probably wouldn't want her anyway, right? Because that's a pretty masculine trait, individualism. Most women who think like that are probably not submissive, extremely outgoing, not docile.
Yeah, I think you need a balance, because we've just explained what happens with women who've got a hive mind, and that's just as bad as women who are 100% like, I don't need a man, I'm an individual, I'm an independent thinker. So you've got to have a balance. There's got to be a sweet spot where she's not going to be easily led.
I don't
Not if she's
necessarily see
constantly
the
around
problem with women being that could think for herself. That is not automatically hive mind. I actually think that's actually a benefit.
What is? Sorry.
a woman that is not hive mind, that she, comes to her own conclusions. She doesn't just make decisions based off the sisterhood.
No, but I'm saying that, like Alex is saying, that a woman who can think for herself, who's independent, is a masculine trait, and that's not good. I'm saying no, it is good, but it just needs to be balanced quite well.
I agree. I think it definitely needs
Yeah.
to be balanced. I would never say that it was automatically right out the gate a negative thing.
Well, like a lot of this as well is that, like, I think a lot of men are have that kind of false interpretation where they think a woman is supposed to be a solved puzzle in the relationship. No, like, you're supposed to be the teacher. You're supposed to guide her. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be a solved puzzle.
Okay, can I just say one thing? As someone who's always been an independent thinker, but I'm not very, of course, aggressive. I'm pretty shy and introverted most of the time. But I can just say, like, I just sit back and watch people, and then I make up my mind. I've always been like that. I remember when all the girls were into Sex in the City, and they would be like, "Oh, have you watched this episode? Oh, it's so amazing." It was kind of like they were under some sort of a spell where they would see this older woman who lives alone in an apartment by herself and then works like doing this thing and wear all these pretty clothes, and then she's trying to get a guy, and then like it never works out, and it's like touch and go all the time, and depression, and she feels good and depression and then feels good. Like, I'm watching this like this is a horror story, like this is a cautionary tale, and they for some reason are looking at the same thing and they're like, this is amazing, this is freedom, this is like wow. And then when the Girl Boss book came out, I got the book too because everybody's reading it, and I'm like, this is terrible. Her relationship explodes, she gets financially successful, but she's alone, and the end of the book she's crying because she loses like her boyfriend and a good relationship, and that's how it literally ends in the book. And then what happens? Every girl is like, girl boss, I want to start a company. And I'm just like, did you not read the same book?
But like that's
I think
that's the mystique of all like the films, movie industry, all that kind of shit. It paints you a picture of like, okay, everything's supposed to go this one way, but they don't show you the whole perspective. Like even in the Sex and the City case, it's like, yeah, the episode might be around that one date, that one night out, but you're not living the full fucking like 30 years up until that date that she gets with the magical guy and all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So it plays into this whole perspective of women are in this kind of like in their head, they're the center of their movie. You know what I mean? But what you need to do as a man is to introduce the word options to show them what reality actually is, because they live in what should rather than what is. You know what I mean?
No, I think they showed them very clearly. This is what happens. It was a miserable. If you've watched any episodes, they show you her crying,
But
screaming, miserable.
Don't you think this is something to do with women loving tragedy in general? Because if you look at all of the great love stories that women kind of find themselves drawn to and think is so amazing and so wonderful, it's always ridiculously terrible shit that never ends happily ever after. It's like, oh, Titanic. Yeah, remind me what happened to the guy. Romeo and Juliet again. Literally every film. Ghost. The guy was dead from the beginning of the fucking film. Like, I mean, but they always get attracted to this like heartbreak tragedy shit, which is why even if the guy comes along and brings everything to the table and it's the potential for absolute greatness is there and a happy ending, the girl will want to bring some kind of tragedy to the relationship just so that she can have that Hollywood drama.
Because women
Like-
need drama. They need
Exactly.
they need a level of they need something to spike
So this is why women
their
should
level of
have
drama.
friends who are women. Women need to be friends with women. Be friends with women, have the drama with them, leave that shit there, come back to your man and have a happy relationship.
But it
I
leaks
think
in.
a guy needs to be cautious of the friends that his wife has.
No, yeah, definitely.
True.
Yeah, bro, this
How
is the
much you should
reason
have
why they
friends.
shouldn't be friends with women.
Yeah,
Because
I-
women
no, like,
enhance this issue.
No, but
I
if
think-
if
I think,
women
like,
want drama,
I think
you need an outlet.
married women should not have any single female friends.
Okay.
I mean, you
see
can
that.
be friends with them, like
Friendly.
okay, let's say like you guys were friends growing up, and then you got married, but Stacy didn't, and Stacy is this wild, child party girl, whatever. No. You and Stacy, your days are limited now. Like she comes
Yeah, but there
around
needs
for
to be
like holiday
something.
functions every great once in a while, but y'all ain't like kicking it like the way you used to. Because
Yeah, but
Stacy's
you, but
into some unmarried shit, right? She's doing some unmarried shit, and you're married.
But if she's a married girl, right? If she has a friend who's married, they still need to be able to bond over some kind of drama or tragedy. There needs to be some kind of tragedy in a woman's life that isn't going to cause damage to the actual relationship, whatever it
That's
is. I
why
don't care if it's
why you need to manufacture enough.
you do. I don't know what it could be, but buy a pet who isn't going to live long, something like that that she can cry over and get upset with, and then when it comes to the
Just get
relationship,
mad
the
at over
relationship's good.
some dumb shit. She didn't cut the crust off your sandwich tonight or today, and you're like, "What the hell? I told you I don't like the crust." Now you're mad, but not really. But I mean, I don't even agree with that either, because I know guys that say, "Well, you need to manufacture drama,"
Yeah, you
right?
can't. Men
And
can't be the ones
I
doing
don't
that. That's
necessarily
too much
agree with
trouble.
that, personally, because I don't want to cause unnecessary drama in my life, right? But
Exactly.
see the people think I'm controlling, right? I'm not controlling. I would say the same thing for guys. I wouldn't say that guys should be hanging around, married guys should be hanging around with a bunch of single guys, right? Because single guys are trying to do what thing? They're trying to go out there and slay. Well,
Exactly. That's why I agreed.
you
Men cut
shouldn't be
out.
going out
Most
there
men
and trying
cut
to
guys
hang
out.
out with these single guys. If they're trying to slay, you're going to end up catching yourself in the company you keep, right? The behavior that they do eventually will get you in trouble. So it's not a controlling thing. I just think it's for protecting the marriage. It's best that if single people do single people things and married people hang out with married people.
Do you guys know Beaten Cheeks?
Oh yeah, he's the homie.
Okay, so he's our little hoe friend. So
Oh yeah,
he was saying like,
activities.
yeah. So he was saying, "Oh, when I go into town, I'm going to take your husband out." I'm like, "Hell no, you're not. I know exactly what you're going to do, and you are not taking him there." And he's like, "Oh, you're just so controlling. You're just so mean and blah blah blah. Let the guy live a little bit, Cat." And I'm just like, it sounds just like these girls we're talking about. And I told him that.
Can I ask you something? If
Yes,
if your husband said no, I want to do it anyway, would you
Go
try and
with
stop
him. I will go
Yeah.
with him.
What if he said I didn't want you to
He
go with
wouldn't
us?
do that because we're like in a good
But what if he did?
relationship.
Just humor me. Play out the hypothetical.
I
What
would
if he did?
probably be outside, like hiding,
Stalking him.
stalking him.
Who's
Sorry.
that?
That's a
Fair
good
enough.
woman.
Fair enough.
That's a good woman.
Fair enough.
That's a good woman, though. See, because
Now-
a bad wife would be like, I'm gonna go to a strip club with guys.
No, see,
So
I don't
that's
necessarily
the
think
right
that's
answer.
actually a good woman, because then she's telling him that by doing so, you're saying I don't trust you
Of course
to
you
have
don't.
enough.
Because if you go out with a guy like Beaten
But
Cheeks
wait a
and
minute,
you're a
are you
married
saying
man, you
Beaten
know what you're
Cheeks-
doing.
His
Are you-
name is Beaten Cheeks, you guys.
It's time for
That's
that
what I'm
story.
saying is like, are you saying your husband is that easily swayed
I'll
That-
tell a story. I'll tell a
that
story.
like he would just all of a sudden hang out with Beaten Cheeks, and all of a sudden he's knee deep in other girls' cheeks?
Well, we're following Alex's hypothetical.
Yeah, like what
Kat
kind of
has a story
girl?
about this.
Yeah, I have
Has
a
the
story.
story.
Look. This is how the Jezebels work. And they're male and female. Cheeks is one of them. I tell him all the time. All right, so there's a story that he already knows. I sent him the link. He's busy. So anyways, there's a story of like there's this girl that was a friend of my husband, and she was like, she had, when we were engaged and everything, she basically asked him to marry her. And like said, "Oh, we could do this, and I'm gonna make this much, and Kat doesn't have like a good job, and like I'm gonna do the same thing that you do, so we'll be rich and all this stuff." And like she's trying to sell it, and he's just like, "Oh no, thank you, I'm already with Kat, like, but thanks." But then he stays friends with her, and then but acquaintances, like she lives in another state, whatever, but she comes down sometimes, and And one time she was coming down and she's like, oh, let's all go to a restaurant, right? So I go with her. I just had a baby. So I'm like swollen, not feeling too hot. I'm there. She's like, let's do the wine tasting. And it's a tasting menu. So it's like a 2-3 hour thing where they're giving them, yes, tons of wine, whatever. So he is a very lightweight, right? When it comes to that. I don't drink, so he doesn't drink often because it's kind of weird. So after like, let's say an hour in, he is blasted. Like he has no memory of this night. I'm going to tell you, he has no idea what even happened. He was so gone. And she did not drink as much. And this girl was so conniving when he's out of it. He's kind of like sitting between both of us. She's like rubbing on his thigh, doing all this stuff. He's got no idea where he is, what planet he's on. And then she whispers into his ear, and I hear her like, oh, you know, I have to pee. Don't you have to pee? Like, we've been drinking so much. Like, let's go to the bathroom. And then she's kind of like, you know, grabbing onto his shoulder and stuff like that as she leaves and being all seductive like a skank. And he's like, oh, I do need to pee. And then he gets up like he's going to go pee. And I grab him by the neck. I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to sit right down over here. And he's like, why? But I have to pee. I'm like, no, you don't. You wait till she gets back and we'll go pee together. Anyways, so like anything could have happened if he has no memory of this. So I tell him this happened.
When was this?
10 years ago.
Okay. So one bad night of him being intoxicated 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden you lost all trust in him.
When he drinks, yes.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't drink, right? Maybe he wouldn't drink if he went out.
Well, he does. So I can't control that. You can't like be like that.
Don't you think you're living in a state of
yes,
fear and a sense of controlling?
Of course. Like when it comes to that, just
but what
alcohol.
I'm saying is like, don't you think that like you're not doing him any service or any favors by trying to, you know, constantly monitor him?
I'm not constantly like.
Well, if
he
he's
doesn't
drinking,
go out,
if he goes
he can
out
drink
and
here. You know.
But if he
doesn't
wanted to
need-
go out, let's say, catch up with some buddies from high school or, you know, college, you know, and they're going to go out for a few beers, you don't think, and you're like, wait a minute. No, you guys could drink here.
And if it's guys, I don't care. But if it's Beaten Cheek, do I need to repeat the name? Beaten Cheeks. We know what that means.
I
Dude, he
mean,
sounds like a
got
nice
slapped.
guy. He looks like a nice guy.
That means he got slapped a lot by his dad growing up.
Yeah, Kat, how dare you bring that memory back up?
On the face, his cheeks.
No, but like to echo what Kat's saying, like, and this is like the fucked up thing is, it's like if a man is to take that same stance, even though like Kat's right to what she's saying, like this is like Jezebels that will literally hop on your husband's dick right in front of you. They have no shame. You know what I mean? So it's like it's the same reason of if let's say my wife comes to me and says, oh, I want to go out on a girls' night, it's like no, and it's not because I don't trust her, it's because I don't trust the guy. Same thing with Kat. It's like she's seen these sluts, she's seen these hoes. You know what I mean? And how crafty they could be, and how like, you know, dark they can actually really go. You know,
Tarek, I have a better question to ask actually. And anyone who knows me, I'm a misogynist, so I don't like taking the woman's side in anything.
misogyny.
But Glenn, I was wondering if this is an issue of trust. What would you say to men who ask women to take paternity tests? Because that's also an issue of trust, right? The woman can say, "You don't trust me. That's why you insist on having a paternity test. Why can't you just trust me? Trust that it's my baby."
Well, okay, for one, only the woman knows that it's her baby. Men don't know.
She knows if she was sleeping around, so you.
Yeah,
you have
she
to
knows that she's
trust
sleeping
her.
around, but he doesn't know.
Means that, he
There-
means
there's
that you know the
absolutely
baby
no
came out of
way-
you.
There's no way that he will know without a paternity test, right? So
Sure. Yeah.
it would only be smart to get accurate information on that, not just assuming anything.
But you phrased it as an issue of trust, not an issue of, well, I
No,
would say
I didn't say it's an
parental
issue of trust.
uncertainty.
I'm saying trust but verify.
Yes, but experience, trust, and experience.
Trust,
And
but
also,
if
look,
you're
you
also
have to.
gonna-
How about this? How about this? A girl goes to a club with her slutty girlfriends. They
Mhm.
spike her drink. She has no memory. She does something. Next time she wants to go out with girlfriends, what are you going to say?
You're not going to be
Well-
with her. There won't be a next time. You leave her. and that's
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Well,
Exactly.
I think that the
So this is-
the difference is that one, you're saying there was a spiked drink, right? And she was a victim of someone trying to take advantage of her with the spiked drink, right? And someone intentionally drinking X amount and not having enough self-control to cut himself off. There's a difference there. One is a victim and one is a victim of his own stupidity, right?
Yes. Well, if
Yeah.
somebody is stupid in that area, or look, I'm sorry, but if you go to a club, you know what goes on in a club. You're not there to socialize with your friends. You're there
Oh yeah, I
to
agree.
be sexual.
I think clubs are horrible places to go to when you're married. Period.
Or bars or any
I
other
like
hookup spot.
cigar lounges. I like lounges where there's live bands playing. You know, I hate bars. But I think there is a level of trust that you should have for your significant other and trust them not to do anything that's going to jeopardize your relationship. And if you feel that in this arena you can't trust him after however many years since that incident, then it shows that there's more of a level of like insecurity on your part than really his. It's more of it's a you issue a little bit there.
Okay.
No, but
I don't think so.
I need to say something, right? There comes a point where there's an overlap there, but there's also a line between being insecure, right? And because the kind of insecurity that the way you're putting it there is you're kind of putting a negative spin on it, like it's a bad trait to have. But at the same time,
I never
it's having
said it
value.
was.
Right.
never
I know,
said it
but I'm
was.
just saying
saying
that
that it can be conceived, it can be seen as a bad thing when you feel that you can't trust your significant other, your husband, and at
yeah,
this
but
point.
what I'm trying to say though, is that there's nothing wrong with insecurity, right? There's nothing wrong with insecurity if it's a fear of a valid issue, right? Something, if you're irrational in your fears and you're insecure because of that, then yeah, obviously that's silly. But if you value your relationship and you trust your partner, but at the same time you know that there's limits, right? He could be out in an area where like somebody might want to spike his drink, right? If I trust my wife and she's like, I'm going out with my girlfriends. Okay, I know the place she's going to. It's not the kind of place where there's going to be guys that are going to want to do stuff. It's a nice place. They're going to like some classy area, right? But then she's going to be walking home down a dark road. I'm going to meet her at the bus stop. I don't think she's going to be picking up a guy on the way home, but I know that a guy might want to do something to her on the way home. So that's like, is it that I don't trust her? No, it's that I don't trust that she might get home
That's a
safely.
completely different scenario here.
No, but the same thing applies
No,
with her being
you're
afraid for her.
you're trying to equate two different like apples and oranges here.
No,
Sorry, I'm
but
late.
at the end of the day, it's somebody taking advantage. Somebody might take advantage of her on the way home. Somebody
Yeah,
might
but
take
that's not
advantage of
her
a guy.
choice of that action, right?
Yeah, but you're assuming that the only way.
Her concern is he is going to be so belligerently drunk and he's going to end up doing something that's going to be regretful and jeopardize their marriage because
Yeah.
he wasn't sober-minded enough.
So your
That's
your
not
problem
someone
is that
taking
there might
advantage
be.
of them.
Yeah, but the only difference here is that you're saying that the problem is that he might be stupid enough to allow himself to get drunk, right?
Well, I'm saying
Let's
he
be
would,
fair.
I
let's
would
be
say
fair,
he
though.
would be stupid enough to allow himself to get to the point where he is not cognitive of his actions.
Right. Yeah. But as in getting drunk, and therefore he doesn't
So
know
that
what
would be
he's
a
doing.
self-control issue, right?
Yeah, but let's be fair. If you're going out with your old high school buddies or whatever, you could go there with all intentions of I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to drink. Right? I'm going to be sensible. And then you say I'm going to have one drink. Okay, I'll have one drink, right? And most sensible guys might still come home tipsy, didn't do anything wrong. But there's times where we all know that there's guys who will do that, right? I don't think that it's that out of order for a wife to be like, hey, I value my relationship so much that I'd rather you didn't do that. I'd rather you didn't go, or I'd rather I go with you. Because let's be fair, that's a valid
fine.
fear.
I don't have a problem with that. What I'm saying at the end of the day, if after 10 years, and unless there's been repetitive behavior where he has not proven that he could be responsible drinking away from her supervision, right? Then that's one thing. But if in this 10 years, if he has proved to be more mature and responsible when he is in, when alcohol is involved, then I think that there should be some level of trust now built up in them in that area. It's where okay,
let me ask you a serious question. If the agreement has worked thus far, because for 10 years he wasn't drinking alone, right? How can you say we've built up trust now when you've never put him in that environment to demonstrate that he can be trusted?
Well,
the whole reason why it's worked
you're making an
of 10
assumption
years.
that they haven't. I'm just saying,
No,
and I'm
because
making
for
this.
10,
I'm just
for
saying,
10 years,
I don't know
though.
if unless there hasn't been a way that he has built up that trust in that area, then fine, I understand where that insecurity is. But see, I would also say the same thing about guys. If your girl decides to go out, right, and you're not keen to it, they're going to do what they're going to do. You can't protect them and save them from bad choices that they're going to make if they want to make those choices. Right. And to me, it's like, okay, if they value the relationship enough, don't you think that they would actually be cognitive and be like, you know what? I know I can't handle my liquor. So you know what? I'm maybe only going to have one drink and I'll just sip it slow. That way I could rest assured when I go home, my wife is not going to be freaked out. She's going to see that I was sober or I'm, just chill and that I wasn't drunk. And then that would help build that trust in her for the next time. Like there's things that he could do if he valued the relationship enough to be cognitive and not put her in that position where she would have to fear that again.
But this can all go back to being in the wrong relationship as well, right?
Yeah, Nick, you could say that.
Oh, yeah,
mean,
okay.
Like, if you're with somebody that likes to go out and get wasted all
But
the
I
time.
think I derailed all of Kat's talking points here and where she was wanting to go with this conversation. I just wanted to make a point that I think it's appropriate if women have this state of mind, right? But if a guy did, then he's insecure. He is trying to be controlling. If a guy if you flipped it on role reversal, the guy's controlling, trying to be possessive, all the negative things, right? And all I'm saying is, if that's the case, then if you can't trust them, then you have to ask yourself, what deeper level is there? The lack of trust in a relationship, there's deeper roots there. I would just analyze that.
Okay,
I think the more important thing though is the trust goes both ways, right? So I don't see any problem with in Kat's case. I don't want you going out drinking on your own. I saw what happened once. I need to know who you're going with or where you're going or whatever, right? Because you value that relationship and you want to be careful, right? The only time I see it would be a problem is if when her husband says that to her, now there's a double standard, and she's like, no, I should be allowed to. You should trust me. That's when it's a problem. But if the rule applies both ways, where if he's like, hang on a second, I don't like it when you go out with these friends of yours because I know they might put some ideas in your head or they might make you do a silly decision too. If she's like, fair enough, okay, then that's fine because that applies to both parties then.
But yeah,
Yeah, but bro, like
just to bring it back to Kat's point though, because like I said, it's kind of going back there. We just want to make sure that we just reiterate the topic where it's. I think it's probably moving on to the can men and women be friends with each other?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Know
but
what I
bro, as like a general principle, I was arguing this devil's advocate just now, but as a general principle, I think the double standard should exist, but the other way around. I don't want to throw shade at Kat or whatever. It's a relationship. She does what she wants here, but a woman has no right to tell her man not to go out. The man does whatever he wants, as long as it's within the confines of not, I mean, cheating directly in front of her or whatever. But if it's a case of like, I want to go out and then
Wait, cheating indirectly, not in front of her face, that's okay.
No. If he goes out and it's just an issue of she doesn't trust him, but he doesn't do anything or plan on doing anything and ends up not doing anything, then she doesn't have a right to restrict his freedoms because she feels something might happen. Whereas he has all the rights in the world to tell her not to. He's the man. He brings way more to the relationship than she does. She has no
Okay,
right to
so
tell
whoa,
him what to do.
but we're talking based on
Sorry.
experience. We're not talking based on like a fantasy threat, and we're talking based on a specific person that has specific intentions and specific people who also have specific, like when I hear someone say, oh, she's controlling you, I immediately think Jezebel. Because that's exactly what they say. They're like, you need to be independent. You need to do whatever you want. They're controlling you. You need to be free to do degenerate things. It's always free to do degenerate things. It's not free to go to the shooting range with your guy friends. It's not free to go on a camping trip with your guy friends. It's always free to go to a club to look at whores. Free to go to a strip club to get lap dances with whores. Free to do something degenerate. It's never free to have a good, wholesome relationship with your friends.
And that's how they disguise it as well. It's like, oh, you have to have free will. You have to have free will. But the counter is, it's like, yes, I have free will, and I choose sacrifice, not indulgence. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, in terms of this Jezebel, that's what the likes of Satan and the dark forces want you to do. They want you to just indulge in yourself and focus on yourself. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's kind of getting too much in terms of like Kat's like personal relationship with a husband kind of thing.
What if you said strip clubs and stuff, right? What does that say to you about your husband if he goes, hey, I want to go to the strip club with Bill and Bob, right? Like, what does that say? Like, he's already like telegraphing how little or how much he values the relationship.
Well, that's not okay. Right? Obviously, but that's not a personal example. Something would be like going to, to a club with Cheeks, who is very clearly going there to find girls to sleep with.
What if he said he was going to drink with Cheeks or to dinner with Cheeks?
That's fine. It's different, but it's the location matters. Like, what are the people around you there for?
Look, let's be fair. Let's be fair right now, right? If Kat said she was going to be, okay, fine, I'm going to let him do it. I'm just going to trust him, right? If that did happen, right, and he goes out, he's got an opportunity to prove that she can trust him, but he gets drunk very quickly and he makes a bad decision and comes home. What would everybody say? Everybody would be telling Kat, but you know what he's like. You know what happened 10 years ago. You had a perfect example. You were stupid for letting him do that. And you know that every one of you would be saying that.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, look at your face.
I didn't hear what you said. Like, you said, like, I know I'll be what? I wouldn't say. You're trying to make me say I would say.
No. Everybody would know from the past experience. That's what us guys know. We learn from past experiences, right? You don't let the same thing happen twice. If you're with somebody and they show their true colors, I'm not using Kat's example here because like everything.
Kat's example is different though.
Yeah, Cat's example is different. That's what I'm saying. But if you're with somebody and you have an example of what happened, nothing bad happened, but something potentially could have happened. You set limits, you draw lines in the sand. Now, if somebody later on says, "Hey, look, it's been 10 years. Let's ease off on it. Give me an opportunity to prove myself," and they go out and the same shit happens, we will all say you were stupid to let them do that because you had real life examples. You chose not to learn from it.
Well, I would blame
You roll the dice.
not
and the shit
necessarily.
happens.
I wouldn't blame the person for one. Again, I don't like the word letting him go do that, because then that puts her in a position of authority over him. But let's say, she, without, she's not making a fuss about it, because she's obviously not going to control him. But let's say, she's not fussing about it, and he chooses, and he goes and he tells her, "Look, I swear you ain't got nothing to worry about. It's not going to be like last time, I promise," right? And then it's like last time but worse. Well, then he didn't value it enough.
But let me-
There's a level of responsibility that he needs to be responsible of.
Yeah, but what do you tell the woman who you advised, "Hey, look, man, it's been 10 years. Are you not going to ease off a little bit?" What do you tell her after she
You don't
listens
tell
to
her
your
anything
advice?
because you're the husband.
No, I'm talking
Damon-
about the third party guy. I'm talking about the third party guy who advised that person to say, "Look, it's been 10 years. Can't you give him a chance to prove himself, to let him know that he
Just to
you can trust
explain
him?"
the cat situation, because there is like a bit of nuance to it. It's like in the cat
I
situation,
don't
it
like
wasn't
using
necessarily
personal
what.
situations. That's why I'm just trying to stay away from just trying to give it a very hypothetical,
He's-
general answer here.
We seem to be basing this off. I mean, I know I jumped in late, so correct me, but we seem to be basing this off of like Cat's issue, but it sounds
No,
almost
just like-
secular. Like the opinions some of you guys are giving sound secular to me.
Because like I said, just to reiterate, like the situation for her is like where women will see other married women, and the only reason why they're going for the husband could look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. They wouldn't give a fuck. The only reason why they're doing it is to get a reaction out of the woman.
Mhm.
Whereas conversely, this situation where we're talking where the husband's going to a strip club, he wants that attention or like that sexual nature, and it's just a different situation. It's more so from his perspective rather than from the bitch coming in trying to break up or wreck the home. You know what I mean? Like she just wants that for the drama. It's not anything got to do with the guy. It's
Well,
all
again,
about the girl in
like
that
I said,
situation, you know?
like if a married guy is gonna go out to a strip club with his buddies, because that's what his single buds want to do, and then he is telling everybody he doesn't value the relationship enough.
Yeah, I
All
don't
right.
think anyone disagrees with that.
I'm saying if he's going out to the bar to catch up with some friends, having a beer, maybe two, and that's it, and that's how he's disciplined in that, I don't think there's a problem there.
No, there's
She
no
may be
problem with that at all.
query, but she needs to let him have the room to, one, prove himself that he's not going to make those mistakes, and two, also make those mistakes so she actually could see what he's really about.
Yeah, but Kat, is your husband asking you permission to go out with his friends?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
Good. Sorry, no offense, but
That's just
Yeah.
my opinion.
No,
You could
Okay.
disagree.
Okay, so like here's another case. A female friend of mine. I won't be specific, but loosely, she and her husband started fighting a lot. Then an old male acquaintance of hers that's very attractive started messaging her, and then she got into a big fight with her husband. She ends up going to this guy's house and sleeping with him. She realized she was an idiot. She came back. She apologized. They went to therapy. She said she'll never do that crap again. She was just whatever. And he decided of his own free will to forgive her. But that came with, you can't do this. I need to have access to this. Like a lot of
for the rest of
stipulations.
your life.
No, but basically it was like that. It's like, if you want to come back, this is what makes me feel comfortable. Basically.
All of those little things that he laid down are meaningless, though. She knows that she can fuck whoever she wants.
Yes, of
Those
course.
are
If
just
somebody
little-
really wants to, if they really want
Yeah.
to, of course. That's
Yeah. Even
But
in
No,
a
it's
but I'm
just-
saying all of his rules, like you need to do this, you need to let me check this, you need to do that. That's just self-soothing shit that he's doing for himself. He
Yes.
knows deep down that she can cheat on him whenever she wants. That's essentially
Yeah.
what he's done.
Of course, and everybody can if they want to and given the opportunity, of course. So what he's doing is saying, let's lower the chances of opportunity because
No,
it
he's
usually, well, in his opinion, he is.
No, I mean he's lying to himself.
Yeah, he's
He's lying to
deluding
himself.
himself, bro.
And he's trying to make her look like he's strong and he's claiming some authority, but really he's not. He's doing that to himself to make himself feel like I'm going to exert some authority here. But the fact that he didn't drop her means that he's given her the green light to fuck whoever he wants behind his back.
No, hold
Also,
on.
they
I
have
didn't
kids.
catch all that because I had a phone call real quick. But
No problem.
what was the scenario? Like your
Okay, the
female friend-
scenario, yeah, female has kids, married for years. They start fighting a lot. A guy from her past starts messaging her privately, sexual, like in, whatever. And then
flirting. Yeah.
yeah, flirting. Then when they had a fight, she goes to his house to calm down and talk about it. And then one thing leads to another. She sleeps with him. She, the same night, realized she did something wrong, begs for forgiveness, goes to therapy. And his conditions are, I need access to this, and I need this, whatever. And then they agree to that and continue their relationship.
Is that
Okay,
simping?
well, so there was an affair that took place, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, that affair was taking place long before the actual affair took place.
Yeah, it usually
Yeah,
starts
because
with
she was in
emotional-
contact
yeah.
with the guy. She was having conversations.
She was
with the guy,
cheating
yeah.
way before she actually fucked the dude.
She didn't suddenly decide after the argument, I'm gonna fuck this guy. She knew that.
No,
from
She
the
was
start.
planning on it for a while.
No, she may not even have been planning on it. She was probably thinking about their previous, times and, how great it was or whatever the case is, how funny he was back then or
That's
whatever.
it, because women cheat like Tarzan, right? They don't suddenly find a guy. It's like they're swinging from one dick and they need to see the other dick they're going to grab hold of before they do it. So that's what she was doing when she was on the phone. So like she knew like that when the argument happened, okay, I'm going to let go of this one. I'm grabbing the other one. There it is.
Yeah, like it wasn't this like, because she could have went to many other places after that argument. And I'm sure she had more friends or more people to contact other than just him.
Yeah,
Are you
like
saying
me.
that she had him in mind? That
Oh, and this is a real
specific
person?
in mind?
Yeah.
So
Oh, okay.
the fact that she went to him, she knew the intentions, what was going to happen. She wasn't dumb.
Is this a marriage through a church?
Yes.
Wow.
Dude, why are you surprised, man? The trans like to prop up religious marriages.
Well, it
No,
just
come
makes it
on.
more confusing or it makes it more hard because now, like, depending on the church, right? There's going to be more obstacles in your way because, in my opinion, I'm a religious man, right? Like, if I get married someday, it's going to be to a religious person, and if they cheat, that's still I don't care patriarchy and all this bullshit. I don't give a shit. Like, it's over. Like, cheating is a no-go, no matter what kind of relationship
Exactly.
you're in.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it gives that as a reason for divorce, not a reason, but an understanding for divorce in Matthew. Jesus says that, anyone who divorces his wife other than sexual immorality is committing adultery, right? So if she has committed adultery or sexual immorality, then he is justified to have that divorce.
Yep, agreed. You would
But
you
like-
would just be angry for the rest of your life with that person. Like,
Now-
it would never go away unless you were a fucking supreme simp.
Now, see, the reason why I think like he took her back, right? Multiple reasons. One, he probably thinks that she's the best that he could get, right? And he doesn't have options. So you want to cling to her. Two, he may feel guilty or somewhat responsible for her seeking out another man or confiding in another man, or even, giving her the opportunity or the room for that to be an option.
I think
Okay,
I think
can-
it's more likely to be the first, just because if it was the second and he was feeling guilty, he probably wouldn't have been exerting the authority to say, "I need to check your phone, I need to do this." And those kind of guys are usually weaker and are more kind of like, "Let me try even harder now to impress you."
Now, my
Yeah.
question is, why would you? Here's the thing: if somebody wants to cheat, they're gonna do it. They will find ways to do it. You could check their phone, you could do whatever you want if they truly want to cheat on you.
This is why I was
They
saying
will do
it's
it.
self-soothing. He's doing that for himself to think that he isn't a cuck. He's doing that
Yeah.
stuff
Bro,
for
like-
himself.
Like, can I propose something to you, right? What if he's taking her back, but he's fucking all her friends?
That's still
Well,
shit.
gross.
See, what I'm
This-
getting
this
at
is
is
the
like,
thing.
if how long is she gonna have to live in that level of condemnation of her sin if she repented and is not doing it anymore? Is he now always going to look at her under the microscope as assuming that any little thing is her sucking a dick? Like if she goes to the grocery store and it takes her 10 minutes longer because traffic was backed up, oh, is she sucking some dick at the grocery store? Is that what he's assuming? Like if that's the level of like how he's going to be constantly viewing her behavior, I don't think that's a healthy relationship, and that's a relationship that they should try to force to work.
I think he's just keeping her pregnant.
Well, then that's a solution too. Then but is
Yeah,
he really
but maybe
keeping her
not with
pregnant?
his kids.
How does he know it's his without a
But
paternity test?
it's not really the same, right? Like, if you look at contracts, there are things that repudiatory breaches where it allows you to get rid of the entire contract, and then you have tiny things whereby if you fuck up, you get warranties, you get payments in return. Cheating on a man is repudiatory. Cheating on a woman is not. And you can go through the entire evolutionary psychology reason for this, right? Like FNF had brought it up so many times.
I mean that's
fact-
irrelevant. Like the fact is that cheating is a level of betrayal against the covenant of what these two individuals made, right? Especially if they're believers. So it you could say evolutionary, whatever. The level of hurt that it stems from it is, devastating for
Yeah.
both men
And
and women.
Glenn, what you said is 100% true, right? Because that guy who decides to take her back, but with all these caveats of I've got to check this, I've got to check that. When you said how long is he going to be doing that for, the simple answer is too long for the woman.
Yeah, well,
She's going to get pissed off. Whatever the time is, she's going to get pissed off and be like, "Do I still have to do this?" How? And also, he's building like a prison of torture for his own mind, because the moment she asks,
Mhm.
like, "Do you not trust me anymore? Can you trust me?" In his mind, because he created this safety net, if I get to check your phone, I get to check your diary, I get to check all this stuff. The moment she asks, "Can you not do it and can I have some privacy?" Immediately, he's going to be thinking, "You're cheating on me."
yep,
Because that's the prison he created for himself.
yeah.
So this
And-
is why it's never healthy to take those people back. The moment you know what they've done, there is no forgiveness for that. I mean, you can
That will
forgive
always
them,
be the
but there's no
elephant in the
taking
room.
back. Yeah, you just get rid of them. You drop them. You cut them out of your life.
And you're not doing it because you don't love them. You're actually doing it because you love them. You love
Well,
them
you're doing
enough
it
and
because you love
knowing that
yourself.
you love
You love
them enough.
yourself.
Well, you love both. You love yourself, but you also love them enough knowing that they're going to be hurt. They're going to be experienced hurt by the way that you are now viewing them. You
My
no
only-
longer
my
view them
only
the
issue-
same way.
My only issue with saying that it's not that you love them is that I got over a girl very easily. I've been dumped one. Well, I've been kind of cheated on one time, right? The thing is that I got over it literally the same day. And all of my friends are like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. And she wanted to meet up and she wanted to talk. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. The only reason I met up and spoke with her was for something, peace of mind for myself. When my friends found out that I was willing to go and talk to her, they'll be like, oh no, you'll take her back, you'll do this. I was like, no, I'm not. They're like, oh look, I don't think you quite got over her. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. None of them believe me because they're like, you didn't go through this grieving process. The only reason why I wanted to meet her up was to know whether or not I could actually trust her, because I wanted the peace of mind in the future to not ever wonder, like, maybe did I do the right thing? I wanted to know that there was no way that I could trust this person ever again. So she wanted to explain herself. I gave her the opportunity to explain herself and also to let her know, yes, I do forgive you, but there's no way I'm taking you back, right? The reason why I got over her so quickly and why I see so many of my friends struggling to get over a relationship like that is you need to understand the person that you thought you loved they're not that person. You had this version of the person in your head. If it was the person that you truly loved, they wouldn't have cheated on you. So they misrepresented themselves. They're a dishonest person. That person that you're giving the broom to, that person that you're kicking out to the curb, is not the person that you loved. They're a dishonest person. So you just got to, in your head, kill this illusion of that person. You kill them in your heart, right? And it's over. You're over it. It's very easy. No tears needed, no crying about it. That isn't the person you thought they were. Go out and find the person who is the person you want.
My wife of 14 years cheated, and I'm the one that divorced her.
Good.
Because I knew that there was no way I could ever view her as I did before. And I'm always going to be like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? Right? Like, who's texting? Right? And I knew that for one, our son, I did not want him to see a tainted version of what marriage is supposed to be like and what love is supposed to look like. Because I knew at that point I couldn't love her the way I ought to. I didn't have it in me to forgive the level of deception and betrayal, right? And although we tried it for a month, and I couldn't do it, and I just made the move, I pulled the trigger, and it was done, right? And I just knew that was the best bet. That was the most loving act that I could actually do for her, is free her from what would be a life of an imprisonment in the sense of always having to prove to me that there's not this level of betrayal going on, right? And then also I would be torturing myself for always having to feel the need that I need to check and try to see what's going on, see if there's anything, creeping on the back end, right? Like I didn't want to deal with that, and I didn't want to put her through that, and I didn't want to put our son through that, right? And now some people can make it work. That's great, good for them. I just know me, and it wasn't going to work, right? And that was the most loving act that I could do in my mind at that time. Now, although I don't encourage divorce, but under that circumstances, infidelity, I think, it's justified.
And it's the best thing for the kids. Like you said, it's better for a kid to see a happy mother and a happy father not together than to have, like you said, a tainted version of what a loving relationship should be.
Well,
My
that's
only
what-
issue is
he pointed to cheating is that like deceit, the lie, the I can't trust you. You know what I mean? Like I said, I have the whole kind of like bitch in the attic play. Like even in that situation, like you have to be 100% from the get-go. This is not something you can just throw into like a 7-year marriage, some shit like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and again, like for Glenn's point of view, it's like Glenn was righteous about it. He was truthful. He was like, listen, I can't handle this. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be happy in this situation. And if I'm not going to be happy, I'm going to lash out or whatever. There's going to be negative consequences, and I don't want that for my son. So he took the difficult decision. Do you know what I mean? So it's, like I said, it's one of those things where it's like you just need to be truthful with yourself and like be willing to kind of say, "Fuck this! I'm taking my ball and going home." Do you know what I mean? It is what it is.
Can I just play devil's advocate first for a while? I understand the concept of not wanting to taint the marriage, but by doing so, when you leave, the moment you leave, you're already relegating that kid to a single parent household, right? And we know how the stats for that reflect.
You're not. The
right?
person who cheated did.
I know,
You're not.
but
The person who cheated.
consequentially, on a consequentialist basis, it's still the same thing, right? Regardless of whose fault it is, the kid is still relegated to a single parent household, right?
A single parent household. Look, why do kids need both parents? To see a loving relationship, right? You're not going to have and a loving relationship needs to be based on trust. You're not going to have that with two people where one cheated on the other and betrayed another person. I think it's more destructive. And I grew up in an area where unfortunately there was lots of kids with divorced parents who tried for a long time to stick together with the kids. That fucked the kids up. I think it's better to have a single parent raising you than to be in a relationship that's a broken relationship, but you've got a mum and a dad home who don't trust each other, who don't show a loving example of how a man and a woman in a marriage should be. That's going to corrupt them worse.
Okay, so just to
Living a
be
lie.
clear, you think that a single parent household is better than a broken relationship for the kid?
Because a kid's going to look at how their mother and their father are interacting, and that is what they think a relationship
I
should
just-
look like.
That's okay. I mean, I have no stats on that. I just want to understand the proposition.
But this is how we learn. This is how we learn what a relationship should be, by looking at our parents, right? Now, I would rather the kid has the memories of what the relationship was like, and
Don't
then
watch my
only saw
parents.
mom and only saw dad. But I'm just saying, like, seeing the mother and the father, there's going to be arguments. No matter how patient you are, there's going to be arguments after one person cheated. And there's going to be that level of resentment. There's going to be always that kind of subtle resentment, and kids pick up on that.
My
No, I
parents.
agree, bro. I agree, bro.
Twice.
Especially if it's the woman cheats.
Can we go back to the friendship thing?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, this is a big topic.
This
Like
is-
I think speaking.
this is
If
why
if
I
if
asked
you if you don't
Your
know, like,
show, you could do whatever you want.
I asked a long time ago, are we going off topic?
Okay,
go ahead,
so
go ahead. Yeah.
okay, so I know you guys think that, like, how do I say this? Everybody thinks that they're in control of their actions and everything, that they have full agency over things. But I'm telling you, from what I have seen, whenever other people see a happy relationship, a happy family, a happy marriage, there are outside attacks on it. And you can say that this is just like paranoia and I'm a controlling psycho, but I have seen it time and time again. Whenever somebody is happy, other people will attack. And I think it's a spiritual thing. You can think it's just jealousy or whatever. But this idea of they made up their own choice, it's totally like, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that everything is under our control, especially if somebody doesn't believe in these things. I think they're more susceptible to falling into these traps. And that is why I'm so on guard, because I'm like, there are attacks against the marriage. There are attacks again, and it comes from everywhere. And they will lie, cheat, steal, do whatever. Like all the examples I was giving that people use to break up a marriage, like lying, like, oh, I saw them making out with someone else, or I saw them cheating on you with like no evidence, or just making reputation destruction. People do, there's outside sources. So you can say, I trust my partner, but if they, for whatever reason, are around people who are infected by this, or like, you know, just, or maybe the other person is around people who are infected by this, these things are going to keep happening. And you can say like, oh, it's fine, just trust them, let them go out there, and if they mess up, that's on them. I'm like, no, like this is basically like a war, and you have to fortify your borders from the enemy. And especially if one person believes in this and the other person is not quite there yet, and they think that they're still in full control of everything and there's no outside forces and whatever. That's just my belief. You guys think I'm crazy. That's cool.
Yeah, when you say outside forces, what are you talking about? People or like demons or like?
I'm
what do
talking
you-
about people who have these.
Well, listen,
Be
we're
These
not
what?
we're not
through them.
battling against flesh and blood. We're battling against principalities and darkness, right? And if the devil could, get two people to end their marriage, get them to screw up to end their marriage, he gets to win. He's winning. He's adding more chaos. Now he may not be able to just get you to renounce your belief in God or walk away from the faith, but if he could just cause some destruction in your life, make your life a little bit more difficult in these areas and destroy a home, well, yeah, he's going to take whatever little W he could get. Not saying that's a little W, but compared to one salvation, it's not as significant, right? So yeah, I think people need to constantly be on guard, constantly be on guard, and you have to defend and protect your marriage from, you could look at it like in the military, from threats, foreign and domestic, from threats internally and externally. I mean, from things that you choose to watch or you choose to engage with, or which they choose to watch or and choose to engage with, can also be an influence. So yeah, you have to be on guard.
100% agree, Glenn. Like, the game does not finish as a man until you are on your deathbed. That's when you can be like, okay, right, now we can relax. You know what I mean? It is a constant struggle, and that's why like throughout the thing, there's people who are kind of like acting as though it's like as soon as you give her the ring, then it's okay, then we can act all lovey dovey and all that shit. But then that's how she ends up, like going to the club with her friends and all that kind of stuff, because she's getting bored because you're giving up as the teacher. You're the sensei. Do you know what I mean? You need to be at like your 25th level. When she thinks she has 5 levels, you're 5 times that ahead. Do you know what I mean? And that's why, like I said, in terms of to get back with the topic of Kat, it's like this whole kind of man and woman being able to be friends. That's where it's like I said, back in the day, and this kind of went into the purple pill debate that we had before, where he kind of brought up the point saying in modern times, because the family sizes are so small and you don't have the odds are you don't have a sister or a female relative to talk, going to get comfortable around, because as a relative there's no sexual tension there. Do you know what I mean? Whereas with strange women there will be sexual tension, and that's why you have that dynamic where, especially and I think Glenn, you said this as well, married people should stick with married people, single people should stick with single people, because even just like being same sex friends, like they can lead you down a bad path. So having a friend of the opposite sex, you know what I mean?
You cannot have friends with the opposite sex unless they are unattractive. And it's not necessarily he finds her unattractive, because we all know men do not have a zero. Like, guys have no bottom line. They will get with the most hideous looking Shrek looking woman they can. All right, that's what their only options. But it has to be the women does not find him attractive. Period. Because if a woman doesn't find him attractive, she ain't sleeping with you.
I respectfully disagree, but okay.
So let me run something by you guys. So if you had a marriage, right, 2 people in a marriage, and the marriage is, and this is not this is a secular marriage, and you had, let's just say, for argument's sake, since there's more guys on here, the female has basically told her husband that she's done with him, right? And then she goes out and sleeps with another dude. What do you guys? What's your guys' opinion on that?
Wait, repeat the story. She
take your ball and you fucking go home. You take the L.
Yeah, dude. Just as in, like,
But
she's married.
I thought the woman already left the guy. Did she not? Did I misunderstand the example?
Yeah, she's like, I'm just doing a hypothetical here. So yeah, basically she's told their husband that she's done with him, yet they're still married, but maybe they're verbally separated, whatever. But she goes out and sleeps with another man because obviously she hasn't been getting what she needs at home or the emotional effect or whatever.
Bro, you kick her the fuck out, man. What the fuck?
Well, I
You
thought
get rid
that
of
already
her.
happened. I thought that already happened once.
No,
once
here's a
she-
different
You
hypothetical,
can't kick her
bro.
out of your house because she owns half the house.
Then you move out.
Only if you get state merit.
You just
Take
can't.
your
You can't stay
ball
with
and
that
you
woman.
go home.
Yeah.
No,
you
yeah,
pack your shit.
they're done. They're done. So I'm just kind of asking your opinion on it. Like, was she
I
wrong
would
for
I
doing
would
that?
personally like if it was our house and she wasn't able to give me my money so that I could leave if she didn't want to leave. If she's like, no, I'm staying here, I'm not gonna waste time arguing with her. I'd pack my shit, I'd burn the house down and go. Like that's whatever. Like you're
Nick-
done. Cut those ties.
You can't burn your house down. Your kids have nowhere to live.
Let me ask you a question, though, Nick. Are you with a woman at the moment?
No, this isn't me. This is just a hypothetical.
But like in terms of like, 'cause I just kind of want to gauge your answer. Like, if your woman left you, what would you miss?
Like in this marriage,
Yeah, like if let's say you're married, like what would you miss?
Sex.
well, I mean, yeah, you would miss the sex and whatever, right? But I don't think at this point, if they've already talked to each other and said like we're done, like we're getting separated as soon as possible, right? And then she goes off and sleeps with another dude. I mean, you wouldn't really know, to be honest, unless she actually came back and tried to throw it in your face, right?
Well, in all honesty, her sleeping with the dude doesn't really change anything. It's done. It's done. It's over. Like, that's the bigger thing. Whatever she does afterwards, like the relationship's
Yeah,
done.
you shouldn't feel any type of way, bro. Like it's done. Who cares? She's a single woman and you have no relation to her now, man.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like in terms of like men need to get over the ego where they think they own the pussy, because, like I said, like the reason why I asked that question of like, if your woman left you, what would you miss? If your only answer is pussy, like the only reason you're with it, like the basically like if your only answer to that question is pussy, you basically have like the answer to realize, yeah, this bitch was just basically gaslighting me for a pussy.
Well, I think I just
Mhm.
said that because somebody blurted it out, but I don't know what I would miss because it's not my situation, right? So
What I'm telling you is like
What does
that
the
is
Bible
most
say
common
about
answer.
if a woman leaves her husband, gets with another man? She's what? She's not to return back to her first husband. She cannot return back to him, right?
Yeah, but we established that the relationship. So, like, if you ask somebody
Yeah.
like Nick that question, I guess the fact that Nick said that you're religious, right?
Yeah.
So like if we're talking a marriage, this would be a church marriage. So the stuff that you'd miss is like you'd have regrets and you'd be missing a lot of things because like the significance of the fact that you got married in a church and now she wants.
but
to
I
end
was
it.
more
It's like
referring to this as a secular
right. Okay.
right.
Well, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think there's more stuff you'd miss. You'd miss memories, I guess, if you got kids with her.
Oh
as
yeah,
well,
there'd be
that you
regrets for
mentioned
sure, right?
So there's all that other stuff. There's going to be like
Yeah, but that's kids. What I'm saying is, what would you miss about her?
Okay,
That's
okay.
that's the
Let's,
illusion
I mean,
wanna dispel.
if she's gonna run out and go get laid the minute that
can girls
the
be
thing's
friends with
over,
girls? Can
I
boys
don't
be
think you're gonna
friends with
miss a lot.
boys? Let's bring it. Can girls be
Girls-
friends with girls?
Women and men cannot really be true friends. You can have temporary women friends, like I've made points on Jake's podcast and stuff too. Like,
Wait, are we
you,
on that
you
already?
have a girlfriend,
No.
you have girlfriends.
No, we're not on that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
okay, let's stay to the topic. We talked about women being friends with women and the type of women that
okay,
are
my bad.
dangerous to have your
See what
woman.
happens when you get late.
What?
See what happens when you get here late.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, I got a jet, so I appreciate Tariq sending me the link.
Anytime, Glenn.
And Kat, I'm so sorry for derailing your stream. Not really. No, yes, I am. I swear I am.
Okay.
Talk to you guys later. Have a good rest of your day.
See you,
Nice
Glenn.
talking to
Thanks
you.
for
Glenn.
coming.
Take
Yeah.
care.
Peace.
Alrighty. So now let's get into what types of female friends do you want your wife to have? What makes a good female friend? Because you guys said
None.
just married.
She's not
But
allowed to have
Tell
friends.
you what?
She's not allowed to have friends.
Okay,
The best type of female friends is no female friend.
I'm
okay,
just kidding.
stop.
She doesn't have her friends. She's got her box in the cellar that she can get in.
Yeah,
See,
she doesn't
now
have
you
to
get
have
it.
her
Now
friends.
you get
Yeah,
it. Well
she's
done,
at
bro.
the stove. She's chained to the
No.
stove, like Andrew said. Chained to the stove. She didn't
He
have time
changed
for
Rachel to the stove.
Oh my god.
friends. Actually, no,
Okay.
she said that, but yeah.
Okay, because some of you said married female friends are okay, and I'm here to tell you
No.
married female
No.
friends also can be little Jezebels and try to ruin your relationship. Because if they're with a weak guy and you're not, they're going to go in and say, oh, mine lets me do this and this and this, and yours doesn't. Or mine does this and this and this for me, and yours doesn't. And then that's how they'll infiltrate in that way to try to cause problems in your family.
So would your answer be that the married female friends should have a worse relationship than what your relationship is?
No, absolutely not. Okay, so this is my list, my personal list for the people that I think would be the best and safest friends for me and my other married friends to have. This is what I tell them when they're having problems with their friends. This is what I say. I say, do not be friends with women who are not in the same status as you, married with kids, whatever. They have to be the same. And then you have, are they happy? Which is like so important. And people hang out with like these downers and these miserable people, these people who are on antidepressants, who are in tons of therapy, who are just like crying on the internet, who are drinking and crying on the internet. And they're just like, why are they causing havoc in my life? And I'm like, what is going on? Anyways, so they have to be happy. They have to be mentally, emotionally stable, which seems like such a basic thing, but you'd be surprised. Anyways, the next one is not jealous. Because if they're jealous of somebody else, they're going to be jealous of you. I'm not crying. What are you talking about?
So that's why I believe that men and women in a relationship, especially in a marriage, should be like best friends. Because I mean, usually, like if you're in a long-term relationship with somebody, like you're okay with being and hanging out with that person. Like it's fun to hang out with that person. It shouldn't be like, oh, I got to hang out with my husband again today. You know, like, yeah, I mean, that's my position on it. And I mean, yeah, it's healthy to have friends, but I agree with Kat. Like you gotta pick and choose. I feel people that match.
My only issue with what
Match
Kat
your
said,
belief
and
styles.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I agree with what Kat said. The only thing that I find is interesting is how when women look at things and how when men look at things, there's obviously going to be differences in how we look at a situation. So with the kind of checklist that you've got there for the women that you can be friends with, because you think they're not going to go after your man, from a male perspective, if the guy is likely to cheat, you just picked the best girl to be friends with that he's going to want to cheat with, because that's what he's going to find attractive. Like
I did
same
say they have to
status
be
as you.
married. Married.
Yeah, I know, but a married man isn't going to cheat with a married woman.
Usually it's a unhappy married man and an unhappy married woman.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that would you be comfortable knowing that this is a girl that you're friends with, that your husband is going to be attracted to?
You have to worry about like ugly girls. You can't just worry about like hot girls, because if they are sexually overt, all bets are off. If
Yeah.
there's any inclination.
Yeah,
you
but
described
who's
the
he
woman
more
as
likely to go
essentially-
for?
You described the woman that you said that a married woman should be friends with this woman who's on the same status as you. So she's married like you are, but she's also on the same status in other respects, but also she's happy. So men are attracted to agreeable women. If she's happy and you're friends with her and he sees, wow, this is a girl who's happy whenever she comes over. She's not one of my wife's depressing friends who's always complaining about shit and that kind of stuff. Like, in a way, a man is not going to be attracted to a jealous woman. if she's your friend and she's always jealous, she's going to have that negative energy that men are not attracted to. And even if she's going to be kind of flirting and coming on to your guy, he's going to be unattracted to her on principle. Like, I mean, he might give in, sure, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, that's the wife's position to be like, hey, honey, I don't think we should hang out with these people anymore. And the husband, if he's a good husband, he's gonna feel uncomfortable by that flirting, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
if somebody's flirting, they're not happy. They're not. They definitely have some envy and jealousy. If
Mhm.
somebody's flirting with your husband, they don't meet the criteria.
Yeah. And I'm all for power to the husband and stuff, right? But at the same time, like you're gonna take opinions from your wife, right? Seriously, you know, if it's making her feel uncomfortable,
No, Nick, you had me until.
you're not. Well, I would take my opinion, my wife's opinion.
Okay, on what? On what matters? Depends
Well,
on what.
like for example, like if she felt like the woman at dinner was flirting with me, then and I agreed with it, I would take her seriously, right? I mean, if I didn't agree with it, because I know what flirting is, and if I just sensed it was jealousy, I'd be like, no, you're just being jealous, right? But
Okay, yeah.
I feel
Let
like
me-
the flirting would make me uncomfortable as a person.
Like here's the thing, right? The
And
queen
you
is the
tell-
king's
oh,
bitch.
sorry.
The queen is the king's bitch. Simple as, right? But a good king will listen to his subjects. You know what I'm saying? Hear them out.
Mm,
It's supposed to be an alliance. You're supposed to be
It is, yeah.
one. So anything that hurts them should hurt you.
yeah, but cat alliance doesn't mean you're equal, right?
It's not about that. It's you're one person. You may have like equal,
It is the
like
kingdom.
different.
Yeah.
You might have different like jobs or different roles. Like this person is the head of the company, but this person is like, in charge of whatever department, but you're still one thing. It's one company.
Yeah, but the president of the company doesn't always listen to the department head for every single thing, right?
Yes, for final decisions. That is why the wife should come with spreadsheets, examples, and say like
But you ain't coming with fucking no spreadsheet sitting me down with a fucking 45-minute
Yeah,
presentation.
dude, come on.
Wasting
Yeah, I
my
just
time.
the entire day of work doing
End
that
of the
exact
story
same
first.
shit. Yeah.
I said a good king will listen to the subjects, not let them go on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's actually we got a lot of, we don't got a lot of time in the day. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Ain't a
meant
lot
to
of
be.
wax on the
It's
candle.
meant to be.
Stubbornness has nothing to do with the final say of the man. Like if you're going to be stubborn about listening to what your woman has to say, like come on.
And don't forget, if you've got a CEO of a company who's not going to want to listen and who's acting like a egomaniacal prick, the people working for him are just going to leave.
Yeah, I feel
No,
the
I
company
didn't-
thing
I
was a
mean,
bad
like,
I
apology.
didn't say
but-
don't listen.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
I didn't
whoa.
say don't listen.
Like basically what we're talking about here is like ruling like a tyrant. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like I
Yeah.
said, a good king will listen to his subjects. Like you need like that was the role of the jester, was to be able to take the common folk, make it into a joke, but have that like underlying truth, so that the king basically knows sub context wise how to just like recommendations, the feedback, all that kind of shit. Do you know what I mean?
I
At the end of the day, the
100%
final
agree
say-
with you.
But
on that.
like the
That's
final
cool.
say is
Now
yours.
bringing it back to the friends, right? Girls being friends with girls.
We're going
No,
off
but like-
topic.
like,
We're
that's what
going
I'm
off
saying,
topic.
Across the board, in terms of like I said, in terms of the aspect of the guy, it's like you who's getting arrested. Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm hiding. They're not going to find me.
Lay low, man, lay low. But like I said, it's like Glenn said it best. Like when he said like women don't have friends, they've got frenemies. And in terms of like with guys as well, it's like yes, like there's like that acquaintance thing. Have that like aspect of like I said, the Rolodex, like that you may know women, like have options, but at the same time you have your situation. You know what I mean? And like I said, equally enough with women as well. It's less of a thing as I don't trust my woman. It's like I don't trust the other guy, because even when we look at like the way simps act and roll, it's this deceptive nature of, oh yeah, like liberate yourself, girl, but realistically all they want is for her to whore out so then they can have an easier chance at getting in the panties. You know what I mean? So that's where it's like there is deception out there, and to act like there isn't you're fooling yourself kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's basic. Oh shit, Grace, is it the guards? But yeah, like I said, it's one of those things where it's like you need to be kind of cognizant of like the way people roll, not just your partner itself. And just because you make a ruling does not necessarily dictate one way or another. You're making a ruling because it's the right path going forward, kind of thing. It leads you to the best outcomes or whatever kind of thing, you know. So like I said, like a lot of this can be taken a certain way or whatever. But if you just take out the personal side to it and just look at the logic. But like I said, this shit's in the Bible. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole kind of like if you rule like a tyrant, you're going to end up destroying your own kingdom and all that kind of shit, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, let me give one example. Like with that case that I said, that specific person that did that thing with my husband, that story. He did not have memory of it. So he's like, oh, she asked me to meet for lunch. I'm going to go meet with her. He went. I couldn't tell him, like I couldn't make him not do it. He went. But then when he came back, I'm like, I have like, she said this on this post, print that out. She did this on this. She's jealous of this because her ex-boyfriend commented these things on my pictures, which caused her to be jealous. So I have like my receipts ready. I have everything ready. Every time she messaged him, I'm like, notice how she said this way. And then you build a case. And then he finally goes, oh, okay, now I see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it was a bad judgment on your husband's part to go to that meeting. But like you said, he has final say, and that was his decision. But I do agree that it was a bad decision, and I don't think I would have done it.
Yes, but again, he had no memory of it. So at this point, it was him thinking I'm crazy, and that didn't happen.
Right. Did you have proof, though? You had proof, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But, you know,
That
you
was
have
like the
to-
Charlie Kelly meme with all like the red fucking lines connecting all the dots and all that kind of shit. And about Pepe
Exactly like
Sylvia and
that.
all that shit, you know?
Yes, and he thinks I'm that person.
How long ago was this?
10 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A long time ago.
Yes, but I will also say this, that more recently, like maybe 2 or 3 months ago, actually late last year, I started having nightmares of this chick, like constantly.
Okay.
And then I started telling him, look, you can't, because they were still following each other on the internet, right?
Yeah.
Even though he's like, I'm not going to hang out with her. She asked me, but I'm not going to let her know because we have mutual friends. So I'll just ignore her. And then I kept having these nightmares over and over and over, like she's trying to like come in and like burn the house down type of thing. And
Did
then
anything happen?
yes,
Do
of
you
course
need
it
to-
did.
Marriage down,
No, I
right?
mean to prompt you having those nightmares 2 or 3 months ago.
It's trauma. It's probably trauma.
I'm
Whoa.
just saying, like at the time that you started having those nightmares, did anything happen before that would have prompted you
No.
to have those nightmares?
No. That is why I do not believe everything is what we see. I think there's things working underneath. Call me crazy. That's okay. But anyways, so I had these nightmares. So I'm telling him, just block her. Just don't message her. Like she's trying to come back. Like I just have a bad feeling. He's like, she hasn't even messaged me in years. It's not going to happen. You're being nuts. You know, like that whole thing. And then we're fighting about that. And then a couple months later, she sends him this long text message like, oh, are you still with Kat? How are things? You know, she's still not working. She doesn't have a job. You know, I make this much now. I'm in Bali. I'm going to come and visit you guys. You should come and meet me for dinner. Just don't tell her.
Oh, bitch, you're
I
not welcome.
So at what point does it become where you have to take things into your own hands?
Like hunt her down?
Well,
Is this what we're
confront her.
talking?
Not
Are we
assault
going?
her. Not assault her, but confront her.
Don't tempt her. Don't tempt her. You don't know what she's like, man. Don't tempt her.
Like, how would
Next
your
week's
husband
stream,
react?
how to hide a body.
How would your husband react if you were to confront her without assaulting her?
I think he wouldn't care. It's just I'm not in presence of her. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't see her.
But this falls on the husband though, because it's weak leadership. Because like a husband should have to be like, look, I'm gonna step in and tell this girl, look, you're being inappropriate. We can't be friends anymore. I'm sorry. Like that's it. I'm cutting ties with you. Like you do that for the sake of your wife. You do that to help your wife know that she can trust you.
Yeah, and eventually when that last thing came in, he was like, "Oh, you're right," and blocked her everywhere.
Exactly. Good.
But you see, like it's not like you
took
got to
a
give
while.
people time to like, because some people are just in denial. No, this is my friend. You're exaggerating. You're crazy. I don't remember any of this happening. You know, like you have to give people time. Just because I know immediately, because I have like the intuition about it, doesn't mean he's going to get the message at the same time. You have to like give people space.
Yeah, and I agree that women have that intuition, because I've been out with plenty of girlfriends, and they're like, oh, you know, like that girl over there, she's like staring you down, and I'm like not even noticing, right? Like I don't even notice. Guys don't notice that shit, really.
Bro,
Because we don't
is it that
think
they
it will
have
happen. Guys will think that we're the ones that have to make the move. So when it does happen the other way, like we kind of we have like a higher threshold that needs to be met before we realize that.
Yeah. I've caught
Dude,
guys like my girlfriend as well, like looking at her boobs or whatever, you know, she's got big boobs, like they're staring, right? Everybody. And it's like, well, like, okay, go ahead and stare. Like, I don't give a shit.
All right,
Don't
so
get intimidated by that, yeah.
okay, so do you want to now go on? So have we decided what's a good female friend for your future wives to have, or do we need to go into that anymore?
imaginary ones, bro?
Shut up! Come on, she got to talk
Imaginary,
to
no,
somebody.
seriously.
I think it's
Like-
trial. It's trial by error, basically.
I don't think you need to go through trial and error for that.
Well, that's what you were saying, though. Like, you're basically saying, like,
Girls
you know,
that have
you're
hit
stating-
the wall and gone through
you're stating
it,
these
those
are
ones
the
good
this
things.
is the list, right? Like, yeah, it's basically trial and error, right?
Well, I mean, for me, like
Yeah.
the ones that I know that are good female friends, they are happy, they are religious. That's just a common factor. I'm not saying that that's always, but I've noticed they all are. They are never jealous. It doesn't matter what you get. You can like win $1 billion and they will be so happy for you. It will be like they won $1 million. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Like, their first response is like, oh, you know, bless the Lord, right? Like, that's their first comment to you. Like, yeah. That's
Yeah,
good.
and it's not like one of those underhanded comments like, oh, you needed this so much, you guys were doing so bad, I'm glad things are it was like genuine. They'll be happy. And the other thing is that they always talk well about their husband, their relationship. Everything is just like wonderful all the time. They're happy, and they never try to get like the tea on your relationship. They're never trying to find holes where they can, or poke holes themselves, make anything that's a little problem a big problem. And the other thing, which is the most important thing, is go to them with a problem that they can make a worse problem, or that they can calm you down on. And if they calm you down instead of make it a big problem, that is a good friend. And I think that works for men, for women, for children, for everybody. If you go to them with a problem like, oh, we're fighting about this and this and this, and they don't try to help you solve the problems to keep the relationship intact, that person wants your destruction, period.
What
Yeah,
if they
that last
just
one's a
don't
really
know
good
how to solve the problem?
Then they don't say anything. They're like, oh, that sucks.
No, but that last one's a really good point. Yeah, that's across the board for men and for women.
Yeah, like what if let's say Alex, you're married, beautiful family, kids, everything. And then Nick goes, oh, you go to Nick, oh, I'm fighting with my wife because I keep throwing whatever on the floor and she doesn't like it. But like I think she should do it because I work all day and I'm tired, but like blah blah blah. And he can either go, oh, that sucks, man, but you guys will work it out, or something positive. Or he can go, that bitch doesn't respect you. Let's go to the club. Let's go get some whores. It's a different vibe.
Yeah, I've had some friends like that for sure.
To come at it at a different angle, I want to play like devil's advocate, because I think we're
no.
all pretty much in agreement that like men and women shouldn't be friends. But Purple Pill made a very good counter argument or points that, like, in modern day, would we all agree that we'd want, like, sex until marriage, kind of like monogamy, all that kind of stuff, correct?
Yeah.
So if we want that and we want that outcome, why is it like that we're, because again, we have small families, so how is a guy supposed to like be comfortable around women or get comfortable around women without having that underlying context where it's like, oh, I'm going to have sex? You know what I mean? There has to be that kind of step off. Well, I need to be somewhat friends or acquaintances or whatever word you want to use. I don't want to have like a syntax debate here. I'm just trying to provide, in terms of the general argument that Purple Pill put forward, was like, should we not be teaching men to be acquaintances, let's say, with strange women, because back in the day you would have had sisters, you would have had relations, relations that like were female, and you would have been able to, because there's no chance of sex there at all, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So in terms of Purple Pill's counter arguments, like all you guys are trying to say, like we want to save ourselves to marriage and all that kind of shit, then being friends with women has to be the next step, or that kind of thing. That's the counter argument to men and women being friends. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not just about married kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Let's kind of come at it from the singles, like the single guy and the single woman point of view.
Yeah.
In that case, are you kind of saying, okay, maybe in that perspective, men and women should be friends?
If you're single, absolutely. That's what I think.
But through his worldview, like through his worldview, he sounds like he's trying, like guys are trying to force it by being randomly friends with women.
Yeah,
They're
when
trying to force a
with him,
relationship.
I spoke with him and I was like, basically, I mean, I told him, like, I've been saying this for ages. I've been saying this with the guys from the VO pod. Like, men being friends with women isn't a new idea. Like, sticking a label on it and calling it like a movement or whatever, or some kind of new strategy. Like, guys are friends with girls for ages. Like, that's not a new thing. But then when the whole kind of like, I mean, long before the whole Me Too shit, but there's been this kind of like polarizing gap that's been growing between younger men and younger women, and a kind of them versus us kind of idea that they seem to have. And younger guys are being taught to be afraid of women, and younger women are being taught to be afraid of men as well. So it is getting harder and harder. Like, anytime that a guy wants to be a friend with a girl, they're thinking, you're only friends with them because you want to have sex with them. You're only friends with them when you want to have sex with them. And vice versa, I guess. But this idea of when it comes to marriage, yeah, I agree. If you're married and like your girl's friends with a guy, guys can tell what another guy's intention is. You're gonna know if this guy's like hanging around her because he's waiting to be the dick that she's gonna cry on when she has an argument with you. So like, we have a vibe about that. Girls have a vibe about that. It depends on how the friendship is. Yeah, I think girls can be friends with guys. I think guys can be friends with girls, even if one or the other or both are in relationships. But you've got to analyze what those friends are like.
Intentions is a huge thing, and like that's what I'm saying. Like, that there needs to be that chat, or like with guys themselves to realize that the majority of men did not repopulate or have families or whatever you want to phrase it. So in terms of like the expectation, or what the average guy experiences, is that you're not going to make it. So what can you do to get yourself to level 70 or whatever way you want to phrase it, and have that kind of happiness, or have the kind of the pastime, the work, the stuff that you love doing outside of kind of that expectation with women. And then you like we're saying there, like, you use the whole kind of like friendship with women for like, in the sake of like, you're not trying to get in her panties, because like that's the whole kind of like mistake that a lot of guys will do, is that they'll fool themselves into thinking, oh, I'm just going to be your friend, not catch feelings. Well, eventually they do, and then they start simping, and then they're on their OnlyFans and all that kind of shit. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I said, there is that element of like men being able to or having to take accountability for certain things, and very easy as a man to hand wave a lot of shit. So like, for example, one common stat would be 80% of women don't find men attractive, but 75% of men are overweight or obese. So the math actually adds up there. Do you know what I mean? And the accountability for men there is, you need to get your fitness there, because your body doesn't lie. If you are fat, you have excess. But no, again, like it's the same thing for women as well. But again, like an overweight woman is not the same as an overweight guy. An overweight woman can be more attractive because she's got bigger tits or a bigger ass. That's not the same
You
for
know,
a
she
guy.
likes putting things in her mouth.
I don't know. I feel like women are more acceptable to heavier men than men are to heavier women.
Wait, say that again.
I feel like women are more acceptable to dating heavier guys than women or men
No,
to dating
No.
women.
no,
that are heavier.
no.
Because I see plenty of good-looking women with guys with huge beer guts.
No, but those guys, right? Like the caveat to that is that guy must be exceptional in other areas, because when men go for women, what do they primarily look for? Beauty, right? But when women search out for men, what do they look for? Height, status, all these kinds of things. So
Yeah,
it's
but we
not.
already
There's whale
said that.
hunters. There's whale
even
hunters on
Glenn-
both sides. You
Yeah.
get those people on both sides.
Yeah, even Glenn said that men will sleep with anything just to get some sex, right?
Yeah, I blame R&B. Ever since
I don't
R&B
think women
came
will
out,
do
fat
that.
girls started getting way more dick than they deserve, to be honest.
I don't
But
think women.
that's the other thing as well. Like I said, it's just like a natural byproduct where like the tits will get bigger because she has more fat and all that.
Yeah.
But like I said, in terms of like your body doesn't lie. If you have excess fat, that is excess. Do you know what I mean? It's simple as. So in terms of like the whole kind of dynamic for men, there is a lot of things you can do to put yourself ahead in life and all that shit. But there is that also that caveat to, like I said, what way do we go about it? Because if we're going to sit here and say men and women shouldn't be friends, we have to have some alternative that at least Purple Pill was at least willing to put forward, which is like, okay, just befriend like a beautiful woman and then focus on her friends rather than because then you have basically the hottest woman in the group, you're getting into her good graces, and then because she's the hot one, all the rest of them are considered the ugly chicks, and you have a better chance, all that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're shooting down. So in terms of hypergamy, yeah, I don't know what way to fucking do it, but you have that kind of balance or that thing going in your favor at least. Do you know what I mean? As a man.
Yeah, my problem with Bergil is that he was saying that like, oh yeah, men and women should be friends and it's possible and blah blah blah, and it's good for men and yada yada. And then I asked him, I said, so you're in a relationship right now, right? And he's like, yeah, 4 years. And I said, well, so do you hang out with these girlfriends of yours now? Well, no, I'm in a relationship. Okay, so you don't hang out with girlfriends. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. I didn't get to call him out on much because there was a lot of people in the panel, but yeah, that was my problem with him. It just seemed
It's
kind
fine,
of
bro. I think we all were against him on that panel.
But like I said, that there is that kind of dynamic where he's talking about a prescription, or is it a prescription? Yeah, a
Yeah,
prescription.
yeah. He's
to go
talking
about
to
things.
single guys to go be friends with women, and that'll get you women. No, it won't.
Well,
I agree.
what I'm saying
I
is,
agree
his
that-
counter is though. What are you telling single guys to do?
I'm telling single guys to wait for the right one to come to you, right?
Oh,
Or you can go out
Wait.
and you can go on dates. There's nothing wrong with going out on dates to try to figure out who people are. And I feel like that's the way that you get to know women. And some of them may even turn out to be friends because you've gone on a date and you've decided that, okay, we're not good for a relationship, but hey, maybe we can be friends.
Okay, can I
That's-
Wow,
say
you're
what,
single.
Sorry.
can I say what I think about Purple Boy?
Give her.
Okay, so my thing is, if you're both single, you should be friends with friend groups that have male and females in the group, and then other groups can come in. You get more people, you get to meet new people. You're already seen as safe to the new women coming into the group, so if they like you, they'll feel more comfortable talking to you, and maybe that leads to a relationship. I have had multiple friend groups of 30, 40 people plus. And when we have parties, I always set up people. Like I find a girl and a guy and I set them up. And we've had, 18 marriages that I have set up. Just be like in a party, you come here, you come here. And if they had not been at least acquaintances of me through other people, they would not be married. So I think it's a huge thing to have friends that are male and female. Now, as soon as we get married, that you're not hanging out with them alone. You're not doing that alone. It's different. But in big friend groups, everybody's married or whatever. We get everybody married who's not married pretty quickly. Then you can all hang out. I think that is totally normal. You're just trying to like grow your tribe, right?
Yeah. Most married people actually don't hang out with single people, to be honest. Most married people or couples hang out with other couples.
Well, I mean, I'm talking more like when you're younger. So
Right.
it would be
Oh, okay.
girlfriends.
Right.
I mean, like that's the typical thing as well. It's like you're saying, like if there's a party, it's like maybe 3 people are like the main 3, but then those 3 have friends who have friends of a friend, and then it's like basically a group of 30 people where kind of there's maybe like 4 subgroups where kind of like people know each other, but then there's mingling and all that kind of stuff and mixing and matching.
Yeah, but would you really consider them friends? I mean, like,
no, that's what I'm saying. That there is that distinction, and I don't want to kind of
Yeah.
like turn it
Yeah,
into
yeah.
a syntax debate where it's more so just people you know or acquaintances rather than an actual friend.
Yeah.
But there is to highlight that thing is like as soon as you do go get married, it's even for like guys as well. And I had to say this to one of my mates as well, where like he's kind of like trying to be he was trying to be nice, but like no, like we'll definitely meet up. And it's like I'm like, man, you've been married for 2 years and we haven't seen each other. You know what I mean? Let's call a spade a spade. You need to do your thing, like because he's raising a kid now and all that kind of shit. Like you need to do your thing, just catch me on the flip side. I mean, because I realized it's like that could be like the because it's a boy, maybe 16 years, but like with a girl, it's like you kind of want maybe to the 20s just to be sure kind of thing. But it's that kind of like process where it's like he needs to go and do his thing. It's nothing personal kind of thing, you know what I mean? So like I said, in terms of this whole kind of like dynamic, it's not only that like you can't be friends with the opposite sex, it's also you can't be friends with the same sex that are single as well. Do you know what I mean? And that's like the married front. In terms of the single front, like I said, there's like you have Sergio's proposal, but it's like yes, there's critiques for it, but at the same time, what's the counter critique? And the counter critique is like, oh, just like date, but at the same time, I just think like at least in a friendship way, like you understand the woman like a lot more in terms of like you're not going to put them on the pedestal because to kind of bring up what Damon was saying earlier about the farting thing and all that stuff, like you kind of like it's not that it normalizes, but you just kind of like see women for how goofy they actually are, and then you're kind of like, okay, like why am I thinking they're better? And then you come in with the right attitude where you're kind of you're coming in as the teacher rather than the student. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, nobody knows about the farting thing. You can't just reference something that happened earlier off stream.
I'm sorry, I've been streaming a lot lately, folks. Like they sometimes just blend in with the thing. Basically, earlier on, Dame says that he would literally break up with a bitch just because she farted in front of him.
Oh,
I said that this was when I was younger, right? When I was younger. But now I still think that you need to present yourself a certain way. You need to have some kind of fucking class. You can't get lazy in a relationship and not have any kind of self-respect. So if it's an accident, I'll give it a pass. But the moment she thinks that she can get comfortable enough to just crack one out in front of you, what the fuck is wrong with you? No.
bro, what
That's
the
some
fuck
fucking
is
thing.
wrong with you? This is the most, bro, this is the most petty thing to get angst.
Dude, wait a second. Let's listen to Alex. Let's listen to Alex for a second. Here's a guy who's in a shell suit, drinking a glass of wine, holding it like a fucking Planet of the Apes guy. And all of a sudden, he's like, yeah, girls should be able to fart, but I'm the ruler. I'm in charge. And she's sitting in a corner farting. What the fuck? What kind of ruler are you?
No, she's not
What
gonna
kind of
sit in a
ruler are you?
room
What
and just
kind of
fart for
goddamn
30
ruler are
minutes
you?
non-stop, right?
Drinking wine while you've
Wait,
got
wait,
a
wait.
wife in a corner who's your subject, who's farting. What's wrong with you, man?
What's
Just
wrong with you?
imagine, like-
Do you think she's gonna be sitting in the corner farting non-stop for
Yeah.
30 minutes?
You
Yeah,
come
most
into
women-
Alex's
What?
house. You can't. Hang on a second. Imagine
Most women are
coming into
self-conscious.
Alex's house with his grand piano in the back there and his glass
Oh,
of
my
wine
house.
that he's holding in his mitt. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Let me introduce you to my wife." Here she is, chained in the kitchen, and she's sitting there just cracking a fart out. How does that make you look?
Yeah,
good?
like once, bro. I'm not gonna kick her out of the house for that. Hey,
She-
no. Since you want to get into what I said, why don't we get into what you said? If a girl farts, that's it. She's out of the house.
Like
No
I said, when I was a
farting in the
kid,
house for
when I
me.
was younger. Dude, we're talking about when I was a kid, man. I was changing girlfriends like I was changing socks, man. But when you're younger and you're like that, this was like that was my line in the sand. Like, no, I don't want to know that kind of stuff. I don't want her feeling that relaxed. But as I matured, obviously, it's different. It's different. But I still don't think that a girl should be comfortable enough just to do that. Dude, are you telling me you'd stick around with your girlfriend if she Dutch ovens you?
Yeah, but that's not fucking, bro. That's
Yes or
work.
no?
That's like
Absolutely
Yes
not.
or no?
Because if you Dutch
Biological
oven her,
warfare right
it would
there.
be over.
wait. No. I would stay with her and get her back. Because I know that my
You would-
fart is 10 times smellier.
I don't
See-
think married couples would care as much, but if you were
Yeah, get fucked. Yeah.
relationship, we were
Bro,
just in a
I'm not gonna
relationship and
pussy
you
out and
Dutch
break
oven
up with her.
your-
What the fuck?
We
I'm
don't
not gonna pussy out
negotiate
and break up with her. I'm
terrorists.
gonna fight her back, man.
Yeah,
I think women are too self-conscious.
degenerate.
Most of them
you're
to
degenerate, Alex.
fart in front of their man.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good that they're self-conscious enough.
Yeah.
That's good. And
'Cause that's a man thing.
I would pay
And
back
fart.
that respect by not doing that. I wouldn't do
Women
that
queef.
either. I don't want to do that.
I'm sorry, this is just too retarded.
This is not the topic, you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kat, do you have any other
Segment,
topics?
men-
segment
women-
three
no,
is
no,
when
no.
we talk about farting. That's when we get to that.
Yes,
This is-
we have no. We found a conclusion here. Men and women can be friends. You just
If
have
they
to get
fart.
the bitch to fart in front of you, and then it's like, okay, we're cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So if a girl comes around and she's single, but she wants to be your friend and you're married, she has to lay just a ton of farts whenever she
Yeah,
comes over.
You feed her some beans, and you just like wait 30 minutes, and then it's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, honey, I met this woman today. She wants to be friends, and she farted like 8 times. It's all good.
Perfect. Perfect.
Well, we solved everything, I guess. Okay. So, is there anything else? Oh, wait. I think
Do
we
you have any
covered
other
most.
scenarios?
Yeah, I think we covered most of like the friendship stuff. What about do you want to do the being friends with degenerates thing, like, or acquaintances? What is with your background?
It's a woman and a man who are friends.
Oh my god.
Didn't they like ruin the world though?
Mm-hmm.
No one needs to know about that. No one needs to know the second part.
Awful acting.
She's really gone downhill. She really has. In the
Aw.
last 5 years.
But in terms of like the degen kind of thing, I think like there is that whole kind of Proverbs verse where it's like go into the house of the wicked and bring it to ruin. But at the same time, it's like you don't want to be putting yourself at risk, especially if it's kind of like not worth the reward. Do you know what I mean? So you need to be kind of like smart about this. Because like for example, like beating cheeks, do you know what I mean? Like you'd be like, oh no, like a married woman shouldn't be friends with him. But at the same time, Cat's basically we could purify this motherfucker. Do you know what I mean? So, like I said, there's like there are exceptions. There's always exceptions to the rule and all that kind of shit. But it has to be kind of like in terms of the intention, kind of what way you're going about it and all that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like if you're like trying to go in and help people and show them a better way and be a good example, like, take cheeks around a bunch of families, but you're intentionally doing it so he can see, don't you want to like have a nice family? And isn't this better than just random hoes and diseases and constantly getting antibiotics or whatever the hell he has to do?
Spike his drink, but instead of like something fun, like some drug that will chemically castrate him, calm him down a little bit. And then all of a sudden he's going to be more sensible.
Oh, I have a story about that. Okay.
Oh, God.
Okay. Hold on, guys. Okay. So, my husband's like a doctor, right? So he has a little bit of patience because he spends longer with them. So they're kind of like very enmeshed with him. Like, I know his patience type of thing. Right. So like they're rich. And one of his patients comes in and he's like asking him, he's like, I'm having problems with my marriage because like there's this girl at work. She's really hot. She's super flirtatious with me. Like I love my wife and my kids. I don't want to ruin that. But this girl is like, always in my face and I'm having a hard time saying no. And then he literally has photos of her in his phone and he's showing my husband. He's like, oh, look, you see, man, this is hard to say no to, because he's trying to like get validation for like, oh, your wife wouldn't know, just go and get it, right? Because that's what like most guys do that are degenerate. Like a beaten cheese would be like, oh, hit it, she'll never know. You pay her bills, who cares, right, Alex? Anyways.
Minding my own
Say
business.
my
man.
name.
Yeah, Alex, you degenerate.
Just minding my own business.
Anyways, so my husband, instead of like egging him on, he's like, well, you know, you have a beautiful wife and a beautiful family. I wouldn't like risk that if I were you. Do you want me to get some stuff to lower your libido? Let me raise.
Well, he was polite about the drugging.
Let's talk about the wife. Though. Maybe the wife is not giving her husband enough to.
No, he treats both of them, and they're both very sweet. But the wife is older. The guy is wealthy. He's got a lot of succubi around him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not always like the wife isn't doing her duty. She's doing her duty. They have like, I don't know, 6 kids or something. She's working.
Yeah,
right?
are they sleeping together just to procreate, or are
Yes.
they sleeping
No,
together?
they
just to-
sleep together all the time because my husband also gives her hormones so that she can more easily have, you know, relations, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sounds like.
Do you know what that means?
internal-
Do you know what that means, Alex? Do you know what that means? Do we have to explain it to you? It's because she needs it to help.
He's-
Otherwise, you know.
When you reach
She's
a
gonna
certain
be-
age,
Why are you talking to?
She'll-
Oh yeah. You guys are all old grandpas and grandmas.
She'll be drier than Gandhi's flip flop, Alex.
Teriyak's young. What are
Sometimes you need
20 Teriyaks?
nature's lube.
Wait, what age do you think I am, Nick?
Like I'm gonna say like 23.
No,
12.
Boys, look at that. See these genetics. I'm 30
Well,
years old.
you got
believe it
nice
or not.
skin, man. So maybe, yeah, you got some nice
Peanut.
white skin.
It's peanuts, boys. I'm telling you, it's the
Penis?
plant fat. It's very, very good for your
Penis?
skin.
your what?
It's
called?
penis, yeah, it's penis.
Oh yeah, you got excuse
Peanuts, you degenerates.
Oh,
Salted though. I like them salted and roasted too.
27.
No, 30. I'm
he's
30
he's
years
like
old.
31.
Oh, okay, I was close.
He's old. It's the vitiligo. It makes him look brighter. He's a black guy, you know, but he's just got vitiligo.
Wait, Tarek, you want to prove that you're a black guy? Prove to everyone that you're a black guy.
No,
it's
Alex, we know what you want to see. Don't show it, Teriak.
No,
She
what?
doesn't
No,
get demonetized.
you always have to make it gay, man. He always.
No,
makes
you're
it-
the one who's doing this. You want to see? No.
No, I just wanted to say a word.
Do you know how I know you're gay? You like Coldplay.
All
Who are
right.
you talking to?
All right. Adults in the room. Gosh.
If you're going to derail, that's how you derail a conversation. To be fair.
My gosh. I knew
Freaking
it.
awkward silences.
He'll show you later, Alex. Let's move on. Okay.
Okay. So I got like 10 minutes. What can we talk about in 10 minutes?
Alex,
Yeah.
do you want to open up? You're in a safe environment.
You're in a safe place, Alex.
This guy, in the last 4 conversations that we've had, has always brought up something gay. In the first 1.5 hours, I shit you not, it's also
Teriak,
always around
Wait,
this
wait.
time as well.
what are you doing?
Why are you pointing at me?
Don't even deny it. Don't even deny it.
Me?
At least 2 people were on the Discord call when you did it just now. Don't even deny it.
What did I do?
He's denying it.
No, him. He makes things
He's denying
gay.
it. I know he's denying it.
I'm not denying anything. What am I denying?
No, I'm
I'm
saying,
not gay.
Tarek's denying it. That's
Wait,
Oh,
you
don't
pointing
sell
at
me out like
or-
that, man. Don't sell me
Damien?
out.
we're not selling it out. It's
Alex, you pointing at me or
2024,
Damon?
dude. Don't worry. He was pointing at you. He was pointing at Teriak.
No, it's probably you. What are you talking about,
Yeah, I know.
man?
Did you guys see that one stream of Andrew's where there was like some disgruntled gay person in his chat and he told him to get the fuck out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck man, was that fun?
Funny as fuck.
He was like, yeah, he was like, yeah, if you're this and that, he's like, you probably want to get the fuck out of here because, yeah.
Dude, what was it the one where he was like, if you don't like it, then don't fucking watch it or whatever?
Yeah, he was going off for like about 10 seconds. He's just like, you need to get the fuck out of here.
I didn't see that. I need to
I
watch
was
that.
like, wow.
Oh,
I was like,
I love Andrew, man. He's funny as fuck, man. Honestly.
yeah, he gets a few beers in him, and he gets pretty funny.
Yeah.
But like
we
he
don't
explained
have
last
time
night,
anymore.
he
Ultra
explained last
religious
night on
and
a
telling the
panel.
gay guy to get off.
Yeah, I think Teriak was on the panel with him there last night, where he was explaining how he needs to have a few drinks sometimes to really actually debate somebody properly, like debate stupid people, because how difficult it is
yeah.
to debate dumb people.
What was it? The one where he was like, it's easier to debate a smart person than a stupid person, because the stupid guy will say something and then you just have like a 5-second pause where you're like, what the fuck did he just say?
Well,
Yeah,
you just
that's
can't
what I'm
like
saying.
convince them. Like they're not smart enough to understand what you're saying, so they just
Yeah.
get back to their dumb fucking stance.
Not gonna lie,
That's
that
me.
was basically Kat this whole fucking cast. She's like, are these motherfuckers talking about women farting? This is supposed to be about friendship. and they're talking about bowel movements? What the fuck are we talking about?
Like, were you guys fighting over like is it gayer to not want to go down on a woman versus having what
Anal, yes.
anal? Oh my god.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
The fact that this is the question that you guys have.
Mhm.
This is what men speak about, Kat. This is what men speak about. These are the universal questions that plague our minds,
Yeah.
and we
Like,
philosophize over this stuff. In the dialogues of Plato, one of them will actually, when he was talking about his, he was talking about this. What's gayer, having anal sex with a woman or refusing to go down on her? Yeah, that was what they were talking about back in the
Right
day.
up with the allegory of the cave and all that. Yeah. Right up.
The
there.
allegory of the cave, yeah, the ontological argument.
Bro, the cave was a metaphor for
Yeah.
yeah.
Alex had to take it there. Alex had to take
Yeah.
it there, of course.
I'd like to hear
Yeah.
that response from Brian. I'd like to hear a response to that from Brian. Can we get him a link?
Who's Brian?
Brian from whatever.
Wait, he wants to come on?
No, I was just kind of joking. Like,
Oh.
I'd like to hear his response because he's said many times on his show that he's not into going.
He's a little questionable,
Wait.
you guys. I know you guys like him, but
What
He's
did,
not
what did
gay.
he say?
Oh, come on, he's not gay.
Is
Well-
Brian the guy who's on the whatever podcast?
yes.
Yeah, the host.
Yeah. So he's just said
I
many
wouldn't be
times that he doesn't
surprised
like
if he was
doing
gay.
that. Yeah.
He doesn't like going down on girls. Yeah, he's gay. Sorry.
Am I gay? Am I gay as well?
Yes.
No.
Blaming.
Oh,
Blaming.
No.
I thought you knew.
I take it back.
Oh,
No, sorry, I take it back. No.
Like, what way did you really think that was going to go, Alex? Like,
Yeah, no. Yeah,
You
sorry.
guys need to understand.
Wine brain.
Brian is a different character. Like he's
am I
very-
gay? And then 5 seconds later, he tilts the wine back while he's holding it like that. Dude, come
he's
on.
like swirling it, you know what I mean?
Get off
Brian's
my
like-
back about my wine habits, man. What the fuck?
Brian's a germaphobe, right? So you got to remember, like maybe that is a issue of why he doesn't like to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, but he said he's okay with anal, bro.
Oh,
Did he?
Oh.
Gay confirmed. Gay confirmed.
sorry, we've just
And it's
figured it
okay.
out.
It's okay. That's cool. It's 2024. There's celebrations for you and pride parades and stuff like that. You can have fun. It's all good.
I
But
just
you're
don't think
sitting
a
at a
gay
table
person
with
would
a
be
bunch of
running away with
women.
Oh shit, they're coming for Damon.
They're coming for me. They're coming for me because I used bad words.
It's the gay police, man. They're coming after you. I knew
Yeah.
you were gay. I knew you were
Oh
gay.
my gosh, relax, guys. All right, moving on.
Yeah, we're gonna screw over Cat here.
You need
Sorry,
to stop
sorry,
listening to Coldplay,
TOS.
Damon.
Wow. Anyways, so guys, so we've established that I don't know anymore. Everybody's gay. Yeah.
No. We've established that we have disagreement when it comes to whether men and women can be friends. The characteristics of the perfect female friend, which may or may not exist. And I think we pretty much agree on the fact that men and women can't be friends, right? No?
If they're
Yes.
married.
They can be friends. They can be friends. Let's be honest.
Women and men can be friends. Yeah.
Okay.
Just look at the dynamic. Look at the dynamic of how you pick your friends. You've got to like them. They got to add value to your life. You've got to. Jesus Christ, what's up with these gay police? Yeah, no. You pick the people that you like having in your life. And you get rid of them. Doesn't matter if they're men or women. That's it. It's that simple.
Okay, so like no degens.
If you've got friends who are sus, get rid of
No
them.
degens.
The problem, I think, isn't can people be friends or can people not be friends. I think the problem is having the strength to cut people out of your life once you realize this isn't a good friendship.
Yeah,
Oh,
which
we
is
can
also
agree on
hard.
that.
Is also a hard thing to do as well,
Yeah.
because that person can take that as offense, right? And then they're going to come after you anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go around. Who thinks men and women can be friends if they're single?
Yep, I
think,
believe
yeah.
men and women can be friends if they're single, but once you're not single, that's over.
Okay, Alex.
Nope.
At all. Never. There's no situation.
Okay.
Eyes
but
on
we're
your
not
own
talking-
paper.
We're not
He
talking
just
about
wants
the
male
1%.
friends.
But the gay police are at your door, not mine, bro. Wee woo. Sorry.
Let me
Okay,
reiterate.
Clip that,
Was he
clip
speaking
that, send
Chinese
it to
there
me.
for a sec?
Men and women can be temporarily friends if you're single. That's what
No. Okay, if you're like the 1% of men and like the 1% of women who genuinely, truly can be platonic, fine. But we're not talking about like the vast statistical exception, right? We're talking generally, and for the vast majority at least, no friends being single, cannot be friends in marriage.
I just like ask men, like, when was the last time you were out with your boys and one of them said, "Man, I wish my girl was here." Do you know what I mean? Like that's why, like, I kind of say, like this whole kind of dynamic. It's like women don't work on their personalities naturally, especially when they're single and all that shit. Do you know what I mean? So, like I said,
That's true. Is it true?
there is nuance to this. Like Alex says, there's the exception to the rule, and like we went over with Purple Pod, or Sergio's kind of like recommendation or whatever. It's more so kind of like a bait and switch where he's like befriending the hottest one, so then the ugly bitches will look up to him and all that kind of stuff. But like there's a whole kind of dynamic behind it. So, but generally speaking, most guys, you're just better off going up to girls and getting rejected rather than trying to be their friends and then just getting pussy whipped or just falling in love, lobby shit kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? As opposed for women as well, like there is the whole opposite dynamic as well, where you'll basically let yourself getting like walked over by this guy, and there's no chance of relationship. He's just basically either just like pumping, dumping, and all that kind of stuff. So basically, you have to kind of like take the roll with the punches, if you get me. Bad taste about women. How so, Doobie? Talk to me, Doobie.
Grace
Safe space.
Thorpe. Are you ready to get torpedoed?
Yeah, man. Like I
Sorry,
said,
sorry,
I'm a
sorry.
level 25 black belt in this shit. Okay. Like I said, me and Grace are playing. It's like the opening. It's like a chess game. Going to be a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, and then there'll be a checkmate. Don't worry, boys.
Okay, moving
Jaded.
on.
What the fuck does that mean?
Jaded?
And like you've been hurt by women.
You're damaged goods, Terrier.
I'm
You're damaged
jaded.
goods.
I think a lot of men have been hurt by women, and a lot of women have been hurt by men. To be honest,
But that's what builds a man. Getting your heart
sure.
smashed is what
Helps.
builds character.
yeah. In a
I
man's
like-
perspective, I can say it helps you. It helps you become a better person and know what you want.
Men and women learn different things when they come out of relationships, so that's the problem. You have certain people who come out of relationship and they know fully, they head into the next relationship knowing, I know what I want now. And then you have another group of people who come out of it and they go, I know what I don't want and what I won't tolerate anymore now. There's different ways you come out of it. And one is good and it will benefit you. The other one, not so much. And I won't say which is which because I don't want to get in trouble with people. But yeah.
So, do you agree? That Kat's question. Do you agree? Or what's
With
your
what?
stance? What's your stance?
Men and women being friends.
Men and women and women and women.
I like her point about knowing what makes a good friend. The idea of like, are they going to give you the good advice, or are they going to kind of revel in the drama? I think that's probably the best point I've heard so far today. That's a really good thing, and I think that you can apply that regardless of if your friends are going to be female or male. But that's just because like I grew up in an environment where there was loads of, as Kat was saying, friend groups. We had friend groups, and there were females in that group. There were males in that group. So I personally don't have an issue being friends with men or with women. I know it can hurt relationships. I know that like your partner can be jealous if you've got friends who are female and your girlfriend's like, that's a bit weird. So yeah, like you've just got to build on the trust. Like you've got these kind of people giving you prescriptions, people giving you this and that, but at the end of the day, like you're an individual, you're in your own life. Your situation is a unique situation to you. Like you can't just have like a blanket rule and apply it. That's kind of silly.
But I mean, like that's what we said. Like there are exceptions to the rule and so on and so forth. I
Yeah.
really wonder what I said exactly to trigger Doobie, but like I said, let me know, Doobie, because like I need more ammunition, like for the likes of Grace and shit like that as well. So let me know. But yeah, like I said, like in terms of a generality, it's not a great idea to be friends with women, even if you are a single man, because women want time, and if you give them time, they will take an inch, take a mile. This is the general kind of like statement. There are exceptions to the rule, of course. Like I said, there are kind of like relationships that kind of start off that they were initially just friends, but then there was something that was there and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, kind of as a guy, you're just better off dealing with the rejection up front and going like being truthful and honest and saying, yes, I want to get pussy straight away, then do the dating process and all that. Don't be trying to like, oh, I'm just going to be friends, because that's like the deceitful way. You're trying to be lovey-dovey. You're trying to be, you know, just like the lefty simps, where it's like, oh yeah, you know, like be like sexually liberated and all the shit, because you just want pussy in the end. Like that's the only reason why you're saying it. Like, don't be nice just to get pussy because you think the woman wants you to be nice. Be righteous. Be truthful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Max said that most people are terrible at making decisions for themselves. Yeah, they are. They are. They need to learn to be better. That's the thing.
Is anybody familiar with Emily King on
No.
YouTube?
Mm-mm.
No, she's like pro. She's pro man. You should check out some of her shorts.
Is she new?
No, she's been around for a while.
Mhm.
If I knew how to bring up a video, I'd do it. But yeah, she's you guys check her out. She's pro men. She has cool little shorts and points that she brings up.
Is this the girl
Emily
with tattoos?
W. King.
Hold on.
Or,
Is this
or-
a
Put it in
tatted
the
up
private
girl?
chat.
let's see if I can here.
Maybe it's because I've been drinking, but Doobie seems like she wants to fix Teriak.
It's Grace, bro. It's Grace. I'm telling you.
I don't know.
She's
Teriak,
it's
Would
a
you be
butter
interested?
account.
She's an undercover CCP. I'm telling you, something sus.
she said she'd do you, Alex.
No thanks. No thanks, bro. No thanks.
Why not? Why not? Come on, man. You're single, aren't you?
Bro, I'm
Oh,
not
she
flying down.
Doobie,
I'm not-
Doobie, tell me what does it
No,
for you.
no,
Is it
no,
his
no, no,
sunglasses?
Simon,
Is it his
David, we're
accent?
not doing
No, we're not
this. We're
talking
not
about
doing
you.
this.
We
No,
know
no,
you're gay. I'm
no.
talking about Teriak. Doobie, is it the sunglasses, or is it his bleached hair, or is it the vitiligo, or the accent? What is it that does it for you, Teriak? I might be able to hook you up.
Good wingman material right here.
I'm the wing. I am the best wingman. I have got a 0% failure rate. Seriously, this is what I'm
That
saying.
you
When
know
Alex
of.
comes to London, Alex, I'm gonna turn you straight. When you come to London, we're gonna fix you. Okay, we're gonna pray the gay away. We're gonna get you up to a nice area where there's loads of girls. And seriously, you're gonna need skin grafts on your penis.
I posted a
It's
video in
gonna
the
be
private chat.
shredded.
Oh, but is this her?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to check out that video in the private chat,
Okay.
Oh, Nick, she's a grifter. She's not legit. She
Who?
the
I don't know
the
that.
girl that they were showing, the TikTok girl. She's a grifter, dude. She's not. She's a fake. I don't
Yeah,
even know
but
if
maybe
she's
she is,
bad.
but some of the messages she's putting out are good for men.
Yeah, okay, fine. I can agree with the content being decent at least.
I don't know if she's a grifter. I need to see some proof on that, but
Who's
I-
that guy in the
yeah,
pink
I-
shirt?
Or a bear. And
I think it needs to be a different question.
The
So instead of
volume
would
is
you
low to
rather
me.
be stuck in the woods with a woman or a bear, because let's be honest, the threat of some men to women is an actual issue, and definitely take the bear.
This guy is a
But
bear.
for men, it should be: would you rather tell your feelings to a tree or to a woman?
we ask men, would you rather?
would you rather tell your feelings to a tree or a woman?
The tree, man. The tree won't fight back.
Wow.
Neither. I'll do what I always do. You just ball it up, push it down, and it just goes away.
See, there you go. It'd be too sus. The clan would be wanting us to sign up and everything. It's not worth it. You know what I mean?
Oh. But bro, natural born invisibility, man. Who wouldn't want that power, bro?
That's
No,
a good
that's a
origin
good
story
power,
for a
though, yeah.
superhero.
Yeah.
I had a pale mother, and my father had vitiligo, and yeah, that's a cool origin story. Hey, Teriak, you got to hook up with this person.
What can I say?
She's
Got to
merit,
spread my
bro.
speech.
The
Genghis
tree
Khan
won't
this.
use
You know?
them against you.
All right, guys.
what-
Well,
what-
I gotta go. So, do you want to keep streaming and I leave?
I'm gonna crash.
All right.
7 a.m. man.
Yeah, I literally
Alrighty.
just got off work and jumped on here, so got some stuff to do.
Alrighty, guys. Well, it's been fun hanging out. A little degenerate, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's pretty tame, to be
All
honest.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, thanks everyone out there for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. 07's in the chat.